Big business.
RSK, let it play, boy.
Yeah.
When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, not miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, not miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. I wake up and say me a prayer. Brush my teeth, babe, then I throw on some threads. Wash my face, grab a cup, hold me some yum. Put on my backpack, then I'm off to the bread. I eat these devils for breakfast, gotta be careful. Whole lot of blood being shed in the streets. Running so wicked, I weep for the living. I drop a free trip for the dead. All my white friends in my pocket, or either they loading onto this black card that I swipe. Say every time that I drop it, the verses be hitting more harder than problems of life. Rich, I collected 2 pennies from every person that willingly gave me advice. Being afraid can't exist in my spirit. I'm fearing no man but the Father in Christ. I put in work with the brothers. We stood on them corners from 10 to like 9 at some night, teaching our people the gospel, equipped with a camera, some posters, some speakers, and mic. Every time that I see mama, she telling me, son, you gotta walk in the light. Christ, the bread of heaven, keep feeding my spirit, and I wanna low, not a slide. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, not miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, not miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers.
When I tell you I'm an Israelite, tribe of Judah, don't you take it personal. Bleed the blood on these demons, we purging them. Don't entertain Jezebels, we be curving them. Ayy, I got a ribbon, she virtuous. In person, this blue life ain't virtual. I can't forget when I heard the truth. I got cut with that word, it got surgical. Conviction can lead to repentance. I pray these verses encourage you. We repenting, now we on the vertical. Judah rising, see Isaiah 32. Big business, nothing minuscule. I picked up that pen back in middle school. Guard your light and take heed who you listen to. Watch your mouth and your ears and your vision too. Hashatan and Shalkani won't finish you. In Mortal Kombat, this war is not physical. Gird your loins up and follow the general. Messiah is coming, that's scriptural. You gotta starve your flesh. The real war ain't even started yet. This look like a setup for a second exodus. I'm trying to be where the water at. Let's get it.
When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, not miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, not miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers.
Yep. Yep. Hey, man. Shalom, man. We back. We back again, bro. We back again. Me and my brother Avery wanted to touch on the origins of haplogroup J. I heard a ghost trying to say that IJ was Shem. And, you know, these guys that get beat up on information that doesn't have any information to begin with, what we're starting to realize, what I've already realized because I've known these brothers for a while, but, you know, the audience might not, you know, be in tune with Kevin Georgia and Georgia Khan. And now we got a new brother, Judah Georgia, as I like to call him. You know, you might see him on in the chat, you know, as Judah Jorge, but we're going to address him properly as Judah Georgia. Anybody that's trying to advocate and cape for the people that came from the Caucasus, that came from Georgia, and trying to make them Israelites, trying to make them Shemites, we own them, man. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to give them the proper title and proper surname, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? You are now all Georgians. You know what I'm saying? Yap. Yap means, sister, yap means our DNA has what we call yap positive. You know what I'm saying? Y chromosome, ALU, polymorphism. And only us, only the E markers and the D markers have that on the whole planet Earth. You know, out of all people groups, only us have it. So we sound off with that yap, you know what I'm saying? To represent who we are. So, you know, like I said before, I feel like, you know, from a spiritual standpoint, that was the marker that, you know, the Most High put on us, from spiritually talking, you know what I'm saying, to differentiate us from the other groups of peoples. So that's how we say yap. You know what I'm saying? Yap. Shalom to everybody in the chat. So yeah, what we here to do is, you know, deal with the origin of haplogroup J and deal with the father of haplogroup. We're gonna show you where these people are. So if anyone's saying that these groups of individuals are Shemites or Israelites, then you're gonna have to prove it, because these people are far away from the Shemitic homeland and territory, and they damn sure not speaking Semitic. Most of these groups. So we're gonna get into it, man. And like my beloved Loaded Luck says, we're gonna get ready to chop this fable. So yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna get into it, man.
Let me work. Please let me work. Get that water. He about to get this work. He about to get this work. Hold up. Hold up. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work, nigga. Hold up. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work, nigga. I killed you. Hold up. He gonna get this work. Hold up. Hold up. You niggas gonna get this work, you hear me? Me. He ain't even get the second verse, but he gonna get this work. Hold up, man. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. Hold up, man. Let me work. He gonna get this work, nigga. Watch me work. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work. Yeah, he gonna get this work. Hold up. He gonna get this work.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like the brother Loaded Luck said, man, we're gonna get ready to chop up this fable. All right, so this is from ethno-linguistic prehistory. You know what I'm saying? We deal with sources over here. The other people, you know what I'm saying, our ops from the other side of the aisle, they don't even deal with sources. They just deal with, you know what I'm saying, rhetoric. You know, running a mill rhetoric and whatever comes to their mind and whatever they can make up and argue at the moment. But over here, we deal with source material. So first, I want to deal with this source right here, Ethno-Linguistic Prehistory by George L. von Drine. Okay, page 156, it says the Y chromosomal clade IJK. So many people want to jump straight to IJ or I or J, but you have to understand that these lineages, they descend from older lineages. So J descends from IJ, and I and J descends from IJ, right? But then IJ descends from IJK. So IJ and haplogroup K descend from IJK. This is a group of males. So we're going to deal with this. It says the Y chromosomal clade IJK split into the paternal lineage IJ, which headed westward, in the lineage K, which remained south and southeast Asia. The lineage IJ split into Y chromosomal subclades I in 170. When I was having a discussion with Kevin the Ghost, or Kevin Georgia, or Kevin Georgia Russia, if you will, I was telling him that you come from basal I. When I say basal I, what does basal mean? The base. So basal means the first. Basal I in 170, and these people would have been emphatically Europeans. You know, Proto-Europeans. Cheddar Man himself was a part of a group of Mesolithic, meaning Middle Stone Age Europeans. So these people lived in Western Europe. These people are from Scandinavia. And we're going to dive into some of that history. It says split into Y chromosomal subclades I, M170, and J, M304. The subclade I, so haplogroup I, was born, meaning carried, into Europe. So we know where these haplogroups went to, where it has survived as an early paternal lineage of the continent, particularly in Scandinavian regions. So if anyone is telling you that IJ is, let me blow this up. I got to make sure y'all seeing this. Let me blow this up and increase that text size. All right. I'm already 150%. See, let's go to 200%. Why not? So if anyone is telling you guys that IJ is a Shemitic marker or a Semitic marker, or is telling you that Shem, I'm laughing at the comments. You guys are crazy. Damn, so dude's supposed to be worshiping Thor and them. Yeah, man. That's where his clay goes back to Scandinavia, man. You know, Kevin Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Kevin Greek, Kevin Gentile, Kevin Ghost, this brother, his lineage stretches back to, you know, Scandinavians and Norse gods and stuff of that nature, man. The new God of War is about him. Yo, the new God of War game is going to be about his ancestors and their legacy and their mythology. The Odin boys, them Odin boys. This is what I was trying to tell him. He was like, no, my clade comes from Sardinia. Yeah, but that clade descends from basal I, which is IM170. And the source, like, again, we deal with sources here. We deal with information here. The source here clearly states the subclade I was born into Europe, carried into Europe, where it has survived as an early paternal lineage of the continent. Early paternal lineage in the continent. Now, where in the Bible, because these guys, you know, levy the accusations against me that I don't believe in the Bible, but where in the Bible does it say Shem's descendants would be the early, the early peoples of Europe? Where does it say that? That Shem would be Proto-Europeans, they would be in Scandinavia or Northern Europe. Or where does it even hint to that? Watch this. Watch this, Clay. Mari, I need you to do me a favor. Make Sean Harris a mod and make Shari a mod. If you can, do that for me. So where in the Bible does it even point you to that direction? You know, we use Josephus's work because he's a very pertinent individual when it comes to, Judaic works. And when we deal with his works, we're going to read what it says about the first Europeans and who they would be considered according to the biblical literature. He said that literature, Shari said that literature was on the side of the ark and got washed away in 600 BCE. Thank you, Mari. It was written on, y'all brothers is crazy here. Y'all running amok tonight. It was written on the Freya tablets. I guess so, man. I guess so. So when we dealing with a haplogroup I, it was carried into Europe, where it had survived as an early paternal lineage of the continent, particularly in Scandinavian regions around the Straits of Skagerrak and Kattegat, in the Dinaric Alpine region, on Sardinia, and in the Netherlands, and in northern Germany, and in lower frequencies throughout the continent. Look at this is all Europe, man. This is all Europe. Now your brother Clade, let's deal with that. The paternal lineage J remained predominantly in the Near East. Now, this word Near East, people look at this word Near East, that's talking about the Levant. No, the Near East encompasses a lot of areas, Anatolia being one of them, right? So it says the Near East, Asia Minor, and what's that? That magical word, the Caucasus, Georgia. So this is where these people come from. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to play any guessing games. We don't do rhetoric over here. We just go straight to the source material. whence it latter spread both eastward and westward. The paternal J is associated with an admixture event that unfolded during the mid-Holocene involving early adopters of agriculture in the Near East. The dissemination of this subsistence strategy assumed the form of cultural diffusion into Europe. I hope you guys are hearing this. This is why reading is fundamental. These guys are Proto-Europeans. And we're going to prove that emphatically tonight. They have nothing to do with Semites. They have nothing to do with Abraham. They have nothing to do with Arphaxad. They have nothing to do with the children of Shem. They have nothing to do with Israelites at all. And we can prove it emphatically with DNA. So the dissemination of this subsistence strategy assumed the form of cultural diffusion into Europe, where agriculture was adopted and practiced mainly by the local people bearing other paternal lineages, E and I, because you did have a few E lineages that did leak into Europe, already present in Europe since the Mesolithic. But the Proto-Europeans, and we're going to show and prove, would have been these IJK people, your HIJK people, and your haplogroup G, all descendants of FM89, when FM89 or CF would represent Japhet. And that's what we're standing on. All right, so from here, I'm going to come back to this source. We're going to teeter-totter. We're going to go here and there. And now I want to go to Josephus, just to remind you guys that the early Europeans would have definitely been Japhet. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to pull this up. Let's go to Josephus and just read a few sentences from there and clarify from a biblical standpoint who these people would be. I gave you guys the genetics. I gave you where J was. I gave you where I been carried into Scandinavia, Germany, Sardinia, stuff of that nature, right? So when you go to the Jewish Antiquities, book 1, chapter 6, it says here, you see what that says? How every nation was denominated from their first inhabitants. So in order to elucidate or determine who would be the Japhites, we have to find out where they first inhabited. Then we can say, okay, these will be the Japhites when we're using a biblical model. So it's right here. Now they were the grandchildren of Noah, and under whom names were imposed on the nations by those that first seized upon them. What did we read about haplogroup I? They were one of the early inhabitants of Europe. And then when you go to haplogroup F, we're going to show and prove here in a minute that they were the early progenitors of the Europeans, the early inhabitants of the Europeans. So again, now they were the grandchildren of Noah, in honor of whom names were imposed on the nations by those that first seized upon them. Japhet, the son of Noah, had 7 sons. They inhabited the beginning of the mountains of Taurus and Amanus. They proceeded along Asia as far as Tanis, and along Europe to Cadiz. So the first people to inhabit Europe would be the children of Japhet, according to Josephus. So all we have to do is find the Proto-Europeans, and then we can see who these people are. And we've already showed you an elucidated haplogroup I. This is from another book, Ancient Lives and Introduction to Archaeology, page number 399 of 400. And it's dealing with the late Ice Age Europe. Let me make sure you guys are seeing this before I continue to read on. Yep, you guys are seeing it. The late Ice Age Europe, the Cro-Magnons. See that 45,000 to 15,000 years ago. The first anatomically modern humans in European were once named after the Cro-Magnon rock shelter near the village of Les Aziz in southwestern France. We kept their nickname in this book, but be aware that Cro-Magnons are indistinguishable from any other AMH, including you. Like all AMHs, which are anatomically modern humans, they were colonists from Africa. Indeed, geneticists note that their skin would have been black, dark, perhaps contradicting the perceived popular image of the first Europeans. So these first Europeans, these Cro-Magnons, would have been the proto-Europeans or first Europeans. And according to Josephus, these will be your Japhites because, again, now they were the grandchildren of Noah, in honor of whom names were imposed on the nations by those that first seized upon them. Japheth, the son of Noah. So since we're dealing with a son, what are we dealing with? A Y chromosome. And the Y chromosome that should represent Japheth would be CF, and we're going to explain why. Japheth, the son of Noah, had 7 sons. They inhabited so that at the beginning at the mountains of Taurus and Albanus, they proceeded along Asia as far as the river Tanis and along Europe to Cadiz, and settling themselves on the lands which they light upon, which none inhabited before. They called the nations by their own names. So these people would be the first ones to inhabit Europe, according to Josephus. Now watch these guys disown Josephus now. Watch him conveniently throw Josephus away and throw him under the bus, because now he's speaking a narrative that's irreconcilable when you're trying to prove that these people are Shemites, the J markers, the I markers, and stuff of that nature. Watch them abandon Josephus. So, as we can see, I think I got another source here. Now, this is from Molecular Photo Fitting. Let's see if I have the right page here. Give me a minute to find this. I thought I had it queued up. Right here. Molecular Photo Fitting, page 172 to 173. It says, another example, many of the M89, which is FM89, M213, and P14 haplogroups, collectively called haplogroup F, but containing GHIJLMNOQNR. So if you see any of these haplogroups, they descend from haplogroup F. It says, are spread throughout Central, Southern, Eastern, and Northern Asia, as well as Middle East and European. This would consist of Chinese people. This would consist of early Caucasian people. This would consist of Proto-Europeans, the Belbika culture, the Funnel Bika culture, the Yemnayas. You ever hear about the Yemnayas coming from the Balkans? These will all descend from haplogroup F, M89, and these will be your Cro-Magnons as well, those early ancestral or basal F. Remember, basal means first, or proto. So these proto F or Proto-Europeans would have been these Cro-Magnons would have reproduced and populated and made children and descendants that would have all represented these children of Japheth. It says, and spread throughout Central, Southern, Eastern, and Northern Asia, as well as the Middle East and Europe. You see that? From the distribution, it is tempting to speculate that the populations that acquired the first haplogroup F mutations live somewhere in the middle of this range. Nested cladistics analyzed, overlaid on the geographical maps can be used. Let me get straight to the point here. No. I'll just keep reading. It says, to estimate geographical origin elements of diversity by calculating geographical centers of gravity. For these elements, such methods have been used to suggest a multi-regional theory of modern human origins, and applied here to haplogroup L and its descendants would seem to suggest that many Europeans, Middle Eastern, South and North Asian populations owe their Y haplogroup character to mutation that arose somewhere in the Near East or Central Asia after the genesis of most recent non-African common ancestors approximately 50,000 years ago. Interpretations such as these from Y chromosome analysis suggest that for practical purposes, the entire human non-recombining Y chromosome phylogeny can be reduced to a few basic groupings of Y haplotypes that explain most of the Y haplogroup diversity of modern day peoples. Here it is. Proto-European / Near Eastern in older literature called Caucasian, derived from African founders who carried or acquired GHIJLRY. So these will be your first Europeans. Your first Proto-Europeans will be descendants of haplogroup FM89, these Cro-Magnons, and these people would be your Japhites. According to what? According to what? Let's go back. Let's give everybody a refresher. And let's go back to Josephus. Here it is, right here. Now they were the children of Noah, in honor of whom names were imposed on the nations by those that first seized upon them. Japheth, the son of Noah, had 7 sons. They inhabited so at the beginning at the mountains Taurus and Amanus. They proceeded along Asia as far as the river Tanis and along Europe to Cadiz, and settled themselves on the lands which they light upon, which none had inhabited before. They called the nations by their own names. So these will be your Proto-Europeans. Therefore, they will be your Japhites. Anybody having any issue understanding that? You understand? Hey, shalom to the chat. Shalom to the chat. Where Judah Georgia at? Yeah, tell Judah Georgia to come out and play, man. Judah Georgia, come out and play. Yeah, so what we're showing and illustrating here is that these initial Europeans, the Proto-Europeans, would have been your Japhites according to Josephus. And when you're using a biblical model, it's clear as day. It's clear as day. It says Naphtali ben Yasharallah says this information is too heavy for them. They believed in the scripture so long without much proof. Now, when presented, they can't handle. It's too real for them. Right. Somebody said, okay, it's 50-0. Berean been trying to hold them up for months. Now it's the end of the Gentiles rule. All right. So what have we established? We have established that haplogroup I would have been one of the early settlers of Europe, which is the brother to haplogroup J. And we also established that J had brought in certain cultures into Europe as well. And we established this, and then we showed you that the F lineages are the Proto-Europeans, and we tied that in with the works of Josephus, where he says that Noah was describing or depicting where these people would first settle. All right, I want you guys to notate the Greeks, because the Greeks would have been Japhet as well. So right here it says, now as to Javan and Madai, the sons of Japhet, from Madai came the Madaeans, who are called the Medes by the Greeks. But from Javan, Ionia, and all of the Grecians are derived. Now we know Ionia is Greece, and Ionia is said to come from Javan. So if we can show you the DNA of the Javanites or the children of Javan, we can show you that these people are related to Proto-Europeans. Therefore, according to Josephus, these people would also be considered to be Japhites, not Shemites. These people have nothing to do with Abraham, nothing to do with Shem or Faxad or any other Israelites. They have nothing to do with it. These are all Japhetic people. So let's get back to the other source. And there's that bot. There's that bot. Right on time. Let me block this user. Yeah, Plumantis, they have been swagger jacking us, man. It came in, like we brought out in prior episodes, the J Markers came in and they started to absorb and adopt the culture of the locals. All right, so this is what we're going to do here. We're going to go back to that source and we're going to read some more from it. Somebody said the Kevin G bot. It's the ghost of Kevin G. Hold on, man. Let's get back to the source. All right, so we dealt with that. I also want to let's keep going. It says, more specifically, the introduction of agriculture into Europe is a reflection of the spread of paternal subclade J2B, but to a fainter degree since the paternal clade EV13. So again, we did have some E markers there, but the initial people there would have been F lineages. Shows a range of expansion in the Bronze Age, southeastern Europe, as a consequence of population growth in situ, rather than solely a result of Western Asian immigrants in the early Neolithic. So you do have E markers, but they come later in the Bronze Age. And I believe in situ or in situ means location or original location. If you're reading any scientific documentation that says in situ, that's what that means. All right, now I want to go up. Let's go back. Let's go back. And let's just deal with the F clade. I just want to start with IJK so you guys get an understanding of IJ with an I, NJ, and where they come from. So watch this. M89, remember, as we discussed earlier, M89 is FM89, split into various F subclades, thereby also giving rise to paternal lineage G, M201, and HIJK. So before you have IJK, you have HIJK. I want you guys to notate that. You have G and HIJK. The paternal lineage G moved westward via Anatolia in the Caucasus into Europe. These are obviously your first Europeans. And is prevalent in European ancient DNA. Maybe I'm talking over someone's head right now. Remember, Josephus makes it clear the first people to inhabit Europe would be the Japhites. Now we have the DNA of these people. G is related to HIJK. HIJK brings forth, it splits to H and IJK. Then IJK splits from IJK to IJ. And then IJ splits to I and J. So J would come from this same lineage, which is being attributed to Japhet. Not Shem, Japhet. So when you have these groups of people claiming to be Jewish, predicated upon their haplogroup, which is J, you let them know that that is actually a Proto-European, that stems back from a Proto-European branch. And according to Josephus, the Proto-Europeans would be Japhet. And what is Japhet? A man. What do men have? Y chromosomes. And you can only have one paternal group. You can't have two. So this man, we're attributing him to CF, and all of the children that come from CF are the descendants of Japhet. So let's read that again. The paternal lineage G moved westward via Anatolia in the Caucasus into Europe, and is prevalent in European ancient DNA. But this lineage was largely replaced in Europe by subsequently incursive paternal lineages, because what happened later during the Bronze Age, the Yamnaya culture that brought in a lot of haplogroup R. Like right now, if you look at the DNA matrices of Western Europe and the DNA makeup of Western Europe, it's like 60% haplogroup R. That actually happened in the Bronze Age under the Yamnaya invasion. They came in and replaced a lot of the older Japhetic lineages, which would be haplogroup G and I and stuff of that nature. And it's funny how they did it, because they're saying that a lot of plague genes were found in some of these ancient fossils that had G and had I. So think of it like this. When the Europeans came to the Americas, they were killing off a lot of the Indians because their immune system was not geared for a lot of the European diseases. So just like when they came from the Balkans and came into ancient Europe, they speculate that a lot of these people were dying because they was bringing in diseases that they were not, their immune system was not ready for. But the point is, these ancient DNA shows haplogroup G in Europe, and we can point to them as being some of the early Proto-Europeans. And remember, a Proto-European means first European, and the first Europeans would be Japhet. It says, although Y chromosome haplogroup G has been retained in high frequency in the Caucasus. There it is again, Georgia. The fraternal clade HIJK split into clades H and IJK. Haplogroup H dispersed through the Indian subcontinent, where this paternal lineage remains highly prevalent, particularly amongst low-class and indigenous tribes, tribal groups. Outside of India, our study traced a Y chromosomal link between gypsies, i.e., European Roma population, and a specific subset of Doma of northwestern Indian, and recapitulated the language contact history of Roma tongues. Subsequent genomic studies have shown molecular reflections of the turbulence, trials, and tribulations faced by these populations over time from having occupied the particular social niche traditionally practiced by their minstrel caste. So, as we can see, and then this goes into what we read earlier, Y chromosome clay IJK, that these people will be related to the first or Proto-Europeans, which would designate them as being Europeans. Being Japhites. Any questions so far? Am I losing anybody? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments, man. Yeah, they do. They have to understand paternal line or line of descent lineage is a line of descent, right? So when you're looking at the biblical model and you're using a biblical model or using it as an overlay, then Shem, Ham, and Japheth will have to represent all of the paternal lineages, all of the Y chromosomes, all of the haplogroups on the earth. And we're pretty much delineating that and showing you where each haplogroup belongs, which son they fall under. And again, these FM89 lineages would have to fall under Japhet because again, Japhet would be the Proto-Europeans. All right, you guys follow? Or you have any questions so far? Hey, Ivory, if you're there, feel free to jump in and add anything if you have anything that you want to discuss.
Oh no, I'm just listening. But yeah, everything you said is pretty much on point when we think about the biblical narrative. The descendants of Japheth will have to be the Indo-Europeans. Josephus says this. Other Jewish writers say this. Christians even say this. And even Muslims and Arabs say this. It's quite well known for thousands of years that the descendants of Japheth settled, they say in the north. He settled in the mountains. He settled far off, in the Isles. He is these Indo-European groups that ancient writers call Gauls or call Scythians, and things of that nature. So, yeah. And this is where we see a lot of haplogroup J, a lot of haplogroup R, G, and so on and so forth. Whereas Shem, on the other hand, we see his descendants both in the Middle East, but also in Africa, because of course we have Josephus saying that Ephar or Ephri and Ephar, being the grandsons of Abraham, settled in North Africa. We have Joktan, whose descendants is Queen Sheba. She settled in Yemen and the Horn of Africa. So we have Shem settling in both the Middle East and in Africa. A lot of people forget that Shem wasn't just in the Middle East, he was also in Africa. But Japheth, right, on the other hand, he is pretty much in Europe and Eurasia. And even he's in the Middle East too. We have to keep that in mind as well. So everything you said is pretty spot on.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next source. And show you the ancient DNA. So we're gonna deal with this article that brings it out right here. The genetic history. Let me get it. The genetic history of Ice Age Europe. So you got a bunch of geneticists working on this, David Reich and others. It says modern humans arrived in Europe 45,000 years ago, but little is known about their genetic composition before the start of farming, which is 8,500 years ago. We analyzed genome-wide data from 51 Eurasians from 45,000 years ago to 7,000 years ago. Over this time, the proportion of Neanderthal DNA decreased from 3 to 6% to around 2%, consistent with natural selection against Neanderthal variants in modern humans, whereas the earliest humans in Europe did not contribute substantially to present-day Europeans. All individuals between 37,000 to 14,000 years ago descended from a single founder population. I want you guys to know that. A single founder population. This is what Josephus was referring to with these Proto-Europeans, these Japhites being the first to go there. And you see through the scientific literature that we have a single founder population in Europe, which forms part of the ancestry of present-day Europeans. Now, from here, I'm going to go to the supplementary materials, because a lot of the times, in order to get the juicy information like Y chromosomes and DNA and stuff of that nature, you have to go to the supplementary methods or materials. So from here, let's go to that. So, but we established that the Europeans, the Proto-Europeans, they come from a founder population. And once we mesh that with the biblical narrative and what Josephus says, we can clearly see that these people are Japhites. All right, so we're going to share the screen again, and we're going to go directly to the supplement. And here we go. Boom. As you can see, let me go. Supplementary information, the genetic history of the Ice Age of Europe. Now, I got the cheat sheet here because I want to go straight to it, not play around. As you guys can see, they found haplogroup IJK and what they call the payload 1. Let's get the date on that, because all we have to do is type in payload. It's going to do it. Let's get the date on that if we can. Nope, it's not going to do it. Let me go to it again. Let me get HIJK. So you have haplogroup HIJK, and I'll try to pull that other one up here in a minute. Haplogroup HIJK, as we brought up earlier, will be one of these early lineages that split from these Proto-Europeans. Now we're going to go to the Goyet Q2 and give you the date range. Here we go, the upper Paleolithic with the Goyet Q1, 16. Give me the Goyet Q2. Right here. For the Goyet Q2, this cave is actually in, I want to say, Wallonia. And Wallonia is, I believe it's a French. Hold on, in Belgium. Wallonia is in Belgium. So if you look at the country Belgium, this is where they found this sample. So they found HIJK in Belgium, which would be in Europe around this period, 19,000 to 6,000 BP. So again, these will be your initial Europeans. So they actually did find HIJK, which would be a Japhetic marker. How do we establish that? Because these will be related to the Proto-Europeans, the first ones to be in Europe. Okay? These people have nothing to do with Shem. They have nothing to do with Abraham, Arphaxad, the Akkadians, the Assyrians. None of the original Semitic people, not Ophir, none of the children, not Ishmael. You can't find one Shemite that matches up with a Proto-European. You can't find one. Okay, so here's the other one right here I was trying to find. It's Pav Iov. I've said Palov. And that DNA goes 33,000 to 24,000 BP. Remember what the paper said, that this population comes from a single founding population 45,000 years ago in Europe. So the initial people in Europe would have dealt with the Japhites, according to Josephus, and we have their DNA. They're all F lineages. Haplogroup J is a descendant of these people. So haplogroup J would be a Japhite, not a Shemite. It would be a Japhetic marker, not a Semitic marker. All right. So now let's go back to IJK since we know where it is. IJK. And like I said, if you have anything to add, Avery, feel free. Let me get it. Let me get it right here. IJK in the path IO1, right? They found haplogroup IJK. This is ancient DNA, meaning they dug in the ground and found skeletal remains and exhumed the DNA. You know how they try to say that we're from West Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, but guess what they haven't found to verify that? There has not been one skeletal remain dug out of Sub-Saharan Africa to say that we were there 20,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago, what have you, with E1B1A. But we do have the oldest E1B1A DNA we have found, and it's not in Africa, it's in Iran. Mesolithic Iran.
There are literally sources that say that West Africans and Bantu type peoples aren't even related to ancient Africans. Literally studies that say that. So
right. So let me get this straight, Evie. There's no DNA to prove that we belong in Sub-Saharan Africa or that's where we got our origin from. But there's DNA that IJK goes back to Europe. That HIJK goes back to Belgium. These people are all Japhetic. All right, Kedrick. Japhet would not have been an albino, as I read earlier. These Cro-Magnons would have been dark skinned. Would have been dark skinned people. And later on in the show, I will try to get you some representations of what they would have looked like. They have modeled and actually what do you call it? They actually built how these people will look like according to phenotype, and they would be dark-skinned individuals. Yes, I am familiar, Naphtali, of the Perke de Rabbi Eleazar, which Perke just means the writings of. Work from the 8th century that states that Shem, Ham being blessed with dark skin and Japhet being white. I don't know if that source helps. Yeah, but Japhet got associated with being white. I believe Avery can touch on that if he wants. How did that white skin mutation and variation, and who actually spread it, Avery, if you want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, so the origin of light skin originates with the Caucasus hunter-gatherers. Caucasus hunter-gatherers are from the Georgia region of the Caucasus. That's where we find the oldest bones. And they mixed with Eastern hunter-gatherers. And when they mixed with Eastern hunter-gatherers, this basically created the Proto-Indo-Europeans. Proto-Indo-Europeans are a mix of Caucasus hunter-gatherers and Eastern European hunter-gatherers that would have migrated throughout Eurasia. And that's basically where the light skin mutation came from, the Caucasus hunter-gatherers in Georgia, which is also where we find the origin of the J marker, because Caucasus hunter-gatherers had haplogroup J, which is further evidence that early Semites in Shem would not have been a J marker, because half of the DNA of Caucasus hunter-gatherers are literally in Proto-Indo-Europeans. If Caucasus hunter-gatherers are Shem, then we're basically saying Proto-Indo-Europeans are half Semitic, which would make sense because they speak an Indo-European language.
Facts.
I can show you all that later when the presentation is over, if you remind me.
Okay, yeah, we want that. Okay, so this Pavlov, forgive me if I can't say that name correctly. I think it's Czechoslovakian or something like that. This was found in Central Europe, along with what? Haplogroup I was found there as well. Haplogroup I was found there as well. These are your Proto-Europeans. You can see up here, right here, haplogroup I, haplogroup F, ancestral F, which all these lineages come from. Let's get the time period from here. Vestonis. Let me get that. Hold on. Vestonis. And, I'm going to wrap all this up in a later presentation where I put it in a PowerPoint so it's more smooth. But I wanted to get this information out. Let's do it like this. Upper Paleolithic. There we go. So the Upper Paleolithic, the Middle Upper Paleolithic, so 33,000 to 24,000 years ago, they found haplogroup F. These are obviously the early Europeans. And according to Josephus, these people would have all been Japhet. So the progenitors of Japhet, IJK, remember that, and IJK comes from HIJK, that split from G, that came from F. And all of these haplogroups we're showing you tonight would have originated in Europe, are related to early Europeans, making them by proxy Japhites. Okay? Dead man don't talk. Yes, indeed. Yes, Kevin, Georgia is haplogroup I, and he's related to these individuals that were found in Central Europe. He's related to these individuals, man. All right. Yeah, I guess he think the I, haplogroup I, the letter I actually stands for Israel. Yeah,
I stands for Israel. J stands for Jews.
Yeah, I stand. Exactly.
The Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom.
That's funny, man. So again, remember these timestamps, and you can see the early, burial sites. And this burial site right here, the Vostonici, I think that's how you say it, is, I believe, in the Czech Republic. That's where they found this particular DNA sample. Still in Europe. So you see ancient ancestral F there. You see IJK there, HIJK there, the ancestor of J. And we see plenty of I there. There's really nothing, else to say on this, but these people are Japhites. You understand? Yeah, Avery, did you want to add anything before I conclude? There's really nothing else. We gave ancient DNA. I gave you the reasoning and logic and the premise behind them being Japhet. We showed you where these people would be. We showed you who the Proto-Europeans would have been. They would have been all F lineages, the first ones to inhabit these people, the Cro-Magnons and so on and so forth. And we can see this man's haplogroup all over Central Europe. Haplogroup I is all over Central Europe, and haplogroup I is the brother of J. So the first initial Europeans, the early Europeans, let's read it again. Hold on. Let me stop sharing this. Let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, Curtis Lee, I'll look into that. Actually, you can go to Genetic Homeland and type in your haplogroup, and they'll give you your branch. Yeah, the funnel beagle culture. Yeah. Service said another field goal. It's 53-0. Right. I was speaking with the guys earlier, and here's the thing. While we were having that discussion, we're the only ones giving sources. That's just like us like we're playing a basketball game, and we're the only team that's scoring buckets. And all they doing is finessing the ball and dribbling and stuff like that. But hey, you never put the ball in the basket. You guys got 0 points. All right, let me go back to this. I'm going to read this one more time.
Nah, you're being disingenuous, you shoot. He did have one source. It was YouTube. YouTube
video. Wow, we giving all type of PhD information in scientific literature. And come on, man, give me a break. All right, so let's go up. Let's go back. It even gives you a map right here, IJ. You can see IJ, they speculate forms in Central Asia. And then J comes over here. around Georgia, and I makes its way all the way to Europe, and basal IM 170 begins to settle in Europe, Central Europe, Germany, and Scandinavia, Sardinia, stuff of that nature.
That's a good map example, actually.
Here's
Might
another
have
one.
to take that.
Yeah, you have it. You have this whole book in your
Oh, that's the book. I still
Yeah.
haven't read it yet because I've been reading other stuff. But okay, I might have to look at it now. I didn't know I had maps. I love maps.
So they have IJK here, and then K will go on over here. And then IJ will move up here and then split again as we've seen below. Right? The Caucasus region over here. And then I would go up into Europe. So they illustrate that well in this book. I want to
Except technically, I would change one thing about this. Go down real quick. They have that J going straight to the Levant. That J should actually be going to the Caucasus.
Yeah.
So that's the only nitpick I would say. But other than that, it's a really good example.
All right, so check this out. Let me go up. Let me go back because I want to recapitulate what we read earlier. Go back. J, I, right here. The Y chromosomal clade IJK split into the paternal lineage IJ, which headed westward in the lineage K, which remains in Southeast Asia. And that's another thing. They don't even know there's another brother lineage haplogroup K, right? That went to South Asia. This is lineage IJ split into Y chromosomal subclades I M170 and J M304. The subclade I was born into Europe, meaning carried into Europe, where it has survived as an early paternal lineage. Remember, the early peoples of Europe would have been what? Japhites. Of the continent, particularly in Scandinavian regions around the Straits of Skagerrak and Kattegat, in the generic Alpine region on Sardinia and the Netherlands and northern Germany, and lower frequencies throughout the continent. Okay. Then paternal lineage J remained predominantly in the Near East, Asia Minor, and the Caucasus. Once it later spread both eastward and westward, the paternal lineage J is associated with the admixture event, which unfolded during the mid-Holocene involving the early adopters of agriculture in the Near East. The dissemination of this subsistence strategy assumed the form of cultural diffusion into Europe, where agriculture was adopted and practiced mainly by local people bearing the other paternal lineages E and I. We know when I got there because we read earlier, subclade I was born into Europe, already present in Europe since the Mesolithic. All right, so Haber et al. It says more specifically, the introduction of agriculture into Europe is reflected by the spread of paternal subclade J2b, but to a fainter degree since the paternal subclade EV13 show a range of expansion in the Bronze Age. So you do have
interesting. So E entered Europe in the Bronze Age.
In the Bronze Age.
Phoenicians go to places like Greece, a Semitic people, in the Bronze Age.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so right here says shows a Bronze Age southeastern Europe as a consequence of population growth in situ, rather than solely a result of Western Asian immigrants in the early Neolithic. So again, so we see the early Europeans here, as we shown, clearly shown here. These will be your early Europeans. The paternal lineage G moved westward via Anatolia and the Caucasus into Europe and is prevalent in European ancient DNA. So, I mean, it's pretty much a wrap there. But I just want to read one more statement here in this book. And I want, there's one word here. That's what I want here. All right. Sometimes, however, time delta is being revealed for the spread of certain haplogroups by means of ancient DNA, which provides sure dating than calculated correlation times. So what this means is they'll say, oh, well, this this haplogroup arose 70,000 years ago, but then we can find DNA, like we brought up earlier, 30 to 40,000 years ago. That DNA that was dug up out of the ground, that time estimate is more sure or more accurate than what we call correlations, times, and ages. And I'm gonna leave it there, man. Did you want to share anything? You said you wanted to bring out the spread of white skin.
Yeah, I can do that if y'all don't care. Yeah, I can bring that up. So first I'll go into the genetic, and then I'll go into what ancient writers used to say about it. Just give me a quick second. All right, can you all see it?
Yep.
All right. So let's see. Let's grab. Let's see which one. Let's see what this says. All right, so here this deals with the genes. So first, let me just bag up a little bit and grab the paper that deals with the Y DNA. Actually, that's never mind. Actually, that does do with what we're looking into. But all right, no, here it is. All right, so both the Georgian hunter-gatherer samples were assigned to haplogroup J, with Katos belonging to the sub-haplogroup J2A. So this is what we're basically dealing with when it comes to Georgian hunter-gatherers or Caucasus hunter-gatherers. Now, when it comes to genes, to explore further, we looked at haplotypes in two pigmentation genes proposed to have been strongly selected in the ancestors of modern Europeans, namely SLC45A2 and SLC24A5. Now, skipping to the important part, which is in yellow right here. We found that Katos and Subserbia have the ancestral version of the SLC45A2 variant, but both Caucasus hunter-gatherers, CHD, have the selected version of the SLC24A5 gene. So basically, light skin is these two genes. I'm not going to name them again because they're kind of long, but it's these two genes that Caucasus hunter-gatherers have, and they mixed with the Eastern hunter-gatherers. So let me just show you that real quick. Show you the sample table. So here's the sample table of that study. So here are the Yamnaya. The Yamnaya are the Proto-Indo-Europeans, and they're situated in between Caucasus hunter-gatherers and Eastern European hunter-gatherers. Here's the Yamnaya. The blue represents the Western hunter-gatherers, and the orange are also the Eastern hunter-gatherers right here. As you can see, the arrow pointing to it. And the green, the yellowish green represents the Caucasus hunter-gatherers, and Yamnaya are basically a split between Caucasus hunter-gatherers and Eastern hunter-gatherers, which disproves, this alone should disprove Shem being Caucasus hunter-gatherer, because you really don't have Semites mixing with Eastern hunter-gatherers or descendants of Japheth. Like, why would Japheth descendants be half Semitic? So that's why Caucasus hunter-gatherers also have to be from Japheth as well. And this would have created the light skin within Europeans, because as we saw earlier, Caucasus hunter-gatherers have this light skin genome. Now, what's interesting about this is that various ancient writers, such as Pirkei de Eleazar, says that Japheth is light skinned. He says he blessed Japheth and his sons; they are entirely white, and he gave them for an inheritance the desert and its fields. And it goes on. Also, Muslim writers basically say the same thing. The children of Japheth settled in Safwan toward the north. they are light skinned and very fair skinned. Persian historian says the same thing. Japheth, whose descendants are very fair skinned and olive skinned. Oh, olive skin, very interesting. It's interesting how they try to apply olive skin to Semitic people, even though this was applied to Japheth. Also, Arabic writers say that he made the descendants of Japheth white skinned. Christian writers, Japheth, the land of the Reds. So light skin really is in ancient times associated with people of the north or the descendants of Japheth, which makes a lot of sense when you look at maps dealing with indigenous skin tones and peoples who speak Indo-European and Caucasian languages. Most of the people in the past in the Middle East would have been a lot more darker before they mixed with groups with lighter skin. I can go deeper, I suppose, but I could stop there unless people have more questions on this light skin thing.
And Ramon Yahoo said, repeat that.
All right, yeah. So I find it interesting how a lot of people associate the term olive skin with Semitic people today, with the sense of Shem today, when olive skin was actually used for the descendants of Japheth, not Shem. Considered to be black. Here it says it right here. Born to Noah were Shem, whose descendants' color are a black complexion with a light brownish undertone and a dark blackish brown. The most you can say is that some of Shem's descendants would have been light brownish, but not olive skin. That's saved for Japheth. By the way, Yeshua, the bot is back. This time it's in Russian because of Georgia.
Georgia, man. Somebody watching us and hearing what we're talking about it, and then they're responding with a bot.
I guess this was their backup plan. If we start proving who we are successfully, just send bots. This is what the result that they're ending with now. They're going to try to get us banned off YouTube by using the bots. This is their last resort.
Send the bots, right?
Yep.
All right.
That's
so
what happened to Phil the Advice Show. If y'all know about him, his channel got hacked, but he managed to get it back.
Really?
Yeah, it happened not too long ago. Like one of his channels was completely hacked, and he had to go through a lot of work to get it back. So just watch out for that.
Man, you giving those guys ideas.
Oh. Well, luckily, there's a lot of Hebrews that are in IT.
If you can't beat them, delete them.
Yeah, for real. For real. Or you can just join us.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The points has been illustrated, man. Out of those 51 individuals that they buried, that they exhumed, like majority of them joints is like I. Majority of them were I too. Finding this stuff in Central Europe and Belgium and stuff of that nature. Haplogroup F, like we can clearly see. You had a lot of C in there. I throw C in that Japheth category as well.
C is seen in a lot of that's seen in a bunch of Central Asian people. It's not just in the Oceania region. It's also in Central Asia.
Right. Yeah, so you even have IJ. They found an ancient sample of IJ in Europe as well. And they dated to about 33,000 to 20,000 years. And like I said, I have to say this again. It's so funny that we can find ancient DNA to place these people in Europe, but they can't find ancient DNA to place us in in sub-Saharan Africa.
Nope.
I'm debating in my head. Should I share this with these people? Maybe I should. Let me just do this real quick. Let me show you guys something.
Debate. Show what?
One of the oldest DE markers and where they found it. You're gonna be surprised where it's at.
Yeah, you can show it. I talked about DE as well in my presentation. Bring it out because you might have something different than I have.
All right. Let me see if I can find the article because it's in the supplementary methods as well.
Yeah, I talked about DE right here. I mean, you can pull yours up, but I'm just going to go to the sources I used as well.
Yeah, just go ahead and bring that out while I try to find this.
Let me see, where is this?
Yeah, tonight's show was impromptu, man, but in a later date, I'll try to wrap it all up in a nice little bow on a presentation.
All right, here's a map that I always love showing people where D is concentrated. Apparently, to our opposition, all these people with D in East Asia would be Hamites.
Yeah.
Bunch of Asian Hamites. Thought Hamites were only black Africans.
All right, look at that. Look at Japan. Look how dark, how purple it is in Japan.
And Tibet. Japan, Tibet, and some place in Central Asia. I don't know where this would be. Maybe Uzbekistan or something. I don't know.
That goes back to the Indian anthropological survey where they say, well, DE got to be Asian because we see all of the other clades that we associate with Eurasia with DE and Yap positive. So Yap positive actually migrated from Asia into the Middle East and into Africa and stuff of that nature. Not the other way around.
The original Japanese were black. Everyone was black.
Everyone was. Where's Ron Dalton when you need him?
All the Japanese were black, brother. Did you know that the first samurai were black?
Oh,
we was kings, man.
Look, man, Japanese people, they had D markers, went over there and married them East Asian women, man. End of story. They picked up the Malays, started looking at East Asian, or what we call East Asian, Oh, man. Yeah, let me find this paper. Are you there, Ivory, or did we lose you?
I'm still here. Let me just, while you pull up, let me just show my sources on that. So when it comes to these sources right here, they're all on the bottom. But basically, this one source says D and E, which both descended from DE-Yap, the first mutation that split into the E branch and perhaps returned to Africa. And then it says down here, whereas other branch D is found today mainly in the Himalayas and Japan. Here's another source. YAP, Yap plus mutation, occurred outside Africa, forming the DE clade, and this dispersed on to East Asia, becoming D, while a second DE branch returned to East Africa, there becoming E.
That's gonna hurt somebody's feelings.
Here's another one talking about DE, and it says that scientists believe that it either arose in Africa or represents a back migration.
You see right there where it says haplogroup E may have originated in Eurasia. You can't say that for haplogroup G and haplogroup I. That's a statement that they can't share. You know what I'm saying?
Just like they can't share the Yap.
They can't share the Yap either, man. Yap.
Yeah. And then right here, this says it's possible that men carrying the DE haplogroup journeyed from Africa across the Red Sea and into the Arabian Peninsula. But it is also possible that DE originated within the Arabian Peninsula itself and later spread back to Africa. So there's an Arabian Peninsula origin for the DE marker.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. FM89 lineages are associated with Proto-Europeans, but DE is associated with the first people in Saudi Arabia. I mean, not Saudi Arabia, in the Arabian Peninsula, the Levant, Mari, Ebla, Semitic places.
Mm-hmm.
but the ancestors of haplogroup J are Proto-European, Proto-Indo-European, Japhetic. Oh man.
It says regions near but external to Northeast Africa, like the Levant or the Southern Arabian Peninsula, could have served as an incubator for the early diversification of non-African unparental haplogroup varieties like Y chromosome DE-YAP star. This model would imply that both CF-P143 and the DE-YAP evolved nearby but outside Africa. One DE-YAP star ancestor would have spread to Asia and evolved to haplogroup D, while the other DE-YAP star returned to Northeast Africa and evolved into haplogroup E. Again, and there's so many other sources that say this. This one says, but the fact that haplogroup E is closely linked to haplogroup D, which is not found in Africa, leaves open the possibility that E first arose in the Near or Middle East and was subsequently carried into Africa by a back migration. B1 probably evolved either in Northeast Africa or the Near East, and then expanded to the west, both north and south of the Mediterranean Sea. Showing the spread of DE, E going into Arabia, D going to the east, the far east, and you can even apply this to the Tower of Babel if you want. That's the route you want to go with. But and of course, there's tons of other studies. I'm not going to read all this, but basically, they're all saying that DE originated in Eurasia, D going into East Asia, and E settling in the Middle East, the Mediterranean, and Africa. But there are plenty of papers that go into this. It says right here, curiously, ancestral E star, which means the most earliest form of E. So curiously, ancestral E star lineages have been detected in the Arabian Peninsula and the Levant. So studies that go into this. I'm just going to flip through them all because I'm not going to read them all, but there's quite a few.
I got that source. I'm gonna show everybody real quick.
Yes.
Whenever you're done.
The last thing I'll show is just some samples we find throughout the Middle East. Like for instance, right here. Actually, let me back up and just go through all of them. So here are a bunch of samples, for instance, in the Levant we find in the Natufian era. So we find PP and B in Jordan. We find 5 samples of E in the north part of modern-day Israel or Palestine. We find E in, again, north part of Israel or modern-day Palestine. We find it in the Middle Bronze Age in Hazor. We find it in the Middle Bronze Age, in the Middle Bronze Age in Megiddo. We find it in, I would say this is north of Syria or south
That's
of.
That's a YAP. That's a DE.
Yes, we find a DE in northern Syria.
Is that the oldest DE? Because that's a problem. If that's the oldest DE we ever found, DEM 45, around 8,000 years ago.
In Tel Kardu. Yep.
Now, we have not found DE in sub-Saharan Africa.
Nope.
People want to claim that DE starts somewhere down there.
No.
We have not found that there, but we found it in northern Syria.
Yes.
Very telling.
Middle East. And here's one in Turkey, E-L795. I don't know what this place is, but anyways, we find it in Ebla. We spoke about Ebla in the past. This is a Semitic kingdom. Specifically, they spoke an Eastern Semitic language similar to Akkadian. So we find that in Ebla. And Ebla it was one of the earliest kingdoms in Syria. I.J. Gilbert considered Ebla as part of the Kish civilization, which was a cultural entity of Eastern Semitic speaking populations that stretched from the center of Mesopotamia to the Western Levant. And they spoke Ebelite, a Paleo-Syrian language. It is an extinct Semitic language. This is Ebla. So we find an ancient E sample in Ebla, ancient Semitic civilization. But I'll stop right there since you have something to show.
Yeah, man. A hybrid praise says Dr. Chandreskar believes DE came from Asia. Hopper believes DE originated in East Africa, but DE is found in both West Africa and Tibet. Yeah, the modern population. But when you start looking when you start looking at ancient DNA, you see DE like he brought out DE in northern Syria, which was going to blow mine out the water that I'm going to show. Let me share my screen real quick. There it is. There, DEM 45, around 8,000 years ago, in Tel Kurdu, to northern Syria. And remember, the Natufians, they were pretty much from northern Syria all the way down to Negev, which south of Israel is the Negev, the desert.
Yep,
that's what their stomping ground was. They know that because of the material culture they left behind.
Yes, and the language, because I guess that also includes material culture. But yeah, the language as well, because Natufians are the ancestors of Semites and Proto-Afro-Asiatics. Anyone that's Afro-Asiatic pretty much descends or is related to Natufians, which, you know, if you look at our DNA, we have small amounts of Natufian ancestry.
Ramon Yahoo said the brother asked if any A and B in the Levant. Not that I know of. I'm not aware of any.
Let me show y'all one sample. Let me show you one. That's a good question. Let me quickly answer it. So we apparently have found a B sample in the Levant. Right here. Here is the phylogenetic tree of A and B. Of course, they're both closely related. And you see right here a B sample in the Negev region. It goes all the way. You see that, Rashub? I don't know if y'all can see that.
Hold on real quick. Let me take my little banner off.
Oh. So there's a little line y'all see. Y'all might be able to see.
Yeah, for some reason I can't take it off right now.
Here, let me see.
But it's up there.
Let me see if I can flip it. All right, so can y'all see?
Yeah, I can see it. It's right there.
All right, so there is a little dot right here in the Negev. It's kind of strange to see, but it points to a B sample. But flip it back. Y'all might be able to see right here. You see right here? This is a B sample that we found. Flip it back. But yeah,
there you go. Haplogroup B in the Negev. I did not know that.
This is the only thing I could find. The only one. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I were to go to family tree DNA, we could find more. But I just
we're talking about ancient DNA.
Oh, well, yeah.
Watch this. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show you guys some a sneak preview of what's to come. All right, so this is from the supplementary tables from the DNA from the BMAC in the Asia in Central Asia, a paper that was written around 2018, and they released a lot of DNA samples, ancient DNA samples. Right, you guys should be able to see my screen. As you can see, clear as day, that is E1B1A, right there, next to E1B1B. And the mitochondrial J1C110. So it tells you what type of women they were dealing with. And this was found in the Golden Cave in Iran. And this is around the Bronze Age, so about 2100 to 1900 BCE. That's when they calibrate this. But if you look at this chart and you see all this DNA that they found in Central Asia, look at this E1B1A. Of course, you're going to get a lot of J1 and stuff like that, I2, R2. Keep going. I want you guys to see this. And remember that question you got. There's another E1B1A. E1B1A. Where is it at? Iran. How old is this? In the Belt Cave. 12,000 to 8,000 BCE. The oldest E1B1A that I've ever seen is not in Africa, but it's in Mesolithic Iran. Think about that. All right, now watch this. I want you guys to look at this. This is a preview because James is going to go in on this as well, on his theory on where he thinks the Tower of Babel is in a later episode. I just want to show you guys this. Look at that. What haplogroup is that? A. This is also in Turkmenistan is where they found this, in the Golnir Cave. Look at that date. So you would have had Hamites around at that time in these localities. This is 2500 to 1600 BCE. These will be your Hamites, even the BT, what they're calling BT. That's also found Turkmenistan. Can you guys see that? Hold on, let me look at the screen. Make sure you guys can see that.
I can see it.
Okay, all right. As you can see, going there all around this time. Now, I also want to find, there's another haplogroup here. Look, there's another A here. I think it's in the same Golnir, Turkmenistan, same time frame. You do see haplogroup A here in Turkmenistan. I want to show you guys something else I found here. Because you always try to say, "Oh, well, where did DE come from?" And I'm positive DE came from outside of Africa, not inside of Africa. The brother just showed you guys an excellent example of that. But you even find E1. What's that? What does that say right there, Ivry? Maybe I'm not reading that correctly.
DE, yeah.
Yep. They found DE in Pakistan. You understand? They found DE in Pakistan. And E1A, which is the early branch of EM96, also Pakistan. Look at that. In the Iron Age, 1200, 800 BCE.
But I thought E was only in Africa for 18,000 billion years.
I know. I thought he was there too. Look, E1A, E1B1B found in Pakistan too as well. So we're finding E1B1A in Pakistan, Central Asia, and stuff of that nature. Go near in Iran. We're finding E1A, E1B1A, and we're also finding E1B1B. And not only that, they have haplogroup DE in one of the samples, and they have E1A in one of the samples. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I'm not gonna dig too deep into this. I just wanted to give y'all that little teaser on that. All right, man. Anything else you want to add, Ivry, before we close?
Someone has I don't know if that's a question or a statement. Someone says something about Bangladesh. Do you see that by TV?
Yeah, he watches all the time. TV, the ET. What's your haplogroup, brother? If you don't mind.
He could be an E marker. Could be descendants of those people, those ancient people. You could put the link in too if you want, if they want to like talk to us.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. We got 45 people in the building. Who want to come in? Anybody come in? Q&A. Any questions about what was discussed today, man? Let us know. Any objections? Let us know. If we have Judah, Georgia in the building, man, you know what I'm saying? He can come in and pose his questions. Okay, good night, sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother Sean in the building. What's going on, Sean?
Yeah.
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 Hey, you know what's funny about that, Sean? Your name, I think about when the brothers in New York be saying, "Hey, yo, Sean."
Son, yeah.
Man, that's how they talk with the "Hey, yo, Sean." Hey, yo, Sean.
God, God. Hey, once again, great lesson tonight. Great lecture. You know, we putting this out for the people. We don't care who come, who try to debunk or, try to just get in our heads and try to just dismantle the lesson. This is not what it's about. It's not about dealing with them. This is for the people.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Correct.
yeah. Ramal Yahoo said, "What's the oldest J marker found in the Levant?" That's easy. Hey, Ramal Yahoo, bruh.
Yep.
You been watching us? You don't know that? The
He know. He just put that out there.
okay.
Yeah.
Oldest J marker will
The
be
oldest J
the
marker. Oh, go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
the oldest J marker would be in the early Bronze Age. That's when they started migrating into the Levant, where Semitic languages were already being spoken before they even arrived. So I don't even know how people try to associate J with Semitic when it was already being spoken by the time they arrived. But yeah, J entered the Levant in the early Bronze Age when E was expanding from the Levant. At least a great chunk of E was expanding from the Levant, because we just looked at sources with E being really in the Middle East even before they really concentrated themselves in the Levant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he said, he wanted to screenshot it. You want the source?
Yeah, sure. Let me pull that up then. You can share my screen. And I'll get that ready for you.
Yeah. So the Levant, those areas would have been definitely Shemitic territory, and that's even written in Josephus. So it's like we know that territory was Japhetic, and we know what genetic markers was there. So I mean, it's a wrap for the argument. It's really not an argument at this point. It's just a teaching moment.
So it says right here, I'm just going to start right here. It says, well, I guess I'll start right here. We compile frequencies of Y chromosome haplogroups in this geographical area and their changes over time in a data set of ancient and modern Levantine populations, and noted, similarly to lizards, study that haplogroup J was absent in all Natufian and Neolithic male individuals examined thus far, but emerged during the Bronze Age in Lebanon and Jordan. So they weren't even in Israel, they were in Lebanon and Jordan, along with ancestry related to Iranian Chalcolithic DNA. They brought in Iranian DNA. So that's where the oldest samples are. They're not even in the land of Israel. They're in Lebanon and Jordan. And I thought Abraham settled in Israel when he set up his camps and stuff.
No, Avery, he settled in the Caucasus.
Here's another story. I'll let you shoot read this one.
Hey, he was ice fishing. He was up there. He was in that joint ice fishing. He had his hiking kit. You know what I'm saying? All right. This says right here, ancient DNA from the Chalcolithic Israel reveals the role of population mixture in cultural transformation. This finding contrasts with both earlier Neolithic and Epipaleolithic Levantine populations, which were dominated by haplogroup E, and later Bronze Age individuals, all of whom belong to haplogroup J.
Yep. They keep saying Bronze Age. Maybe not the early Bronze Age, but the Bronze Age. May have got that wrong. So that's even better. Not even the early Bronze Age, but just the Bronze Age in general. And here's the last source I'll use. So it says, we found an ancestry related to ancient Iranians that is ubiquitous. Sorry, today in all Middle Easterners. Previous studies showed that this ancestry was not present. Again, was not present in the Levant during the Neolithic period, but appeared in the Bronze Age, where 50% of the local ancestry was replaced by a population carrying ancient Iranian related ancestry. Who are Iranians in the scriptures? Aren't they Japhetic? Anyways, it says this population potentially introduced the Y chromosome haplogroup J1 into the region. So J1 people came into the Levant bringing Iranian DNA. Iranians are a Indo-European people. Iranian peoples are a diverse Indo-European ethno-linguistic group. So yeah.
Persians, Indo-European. What else you got up there?
Here, let me show you the full list of Indo-Europeans. Here's right there. There you go.
Yeah, Proto-Iranians are believed to have emerged as a separate branch of Indo-Iranians in Central Asia in the mid-second millennium BC. Ancient Iranian peoples who emerged after the first millennium BC include the Alans, the Bactrians, the Dahae, the Khwarazmians, the Medes, which will come from Madai, which will descend from Japhet.
Persians. I thought Persians were Semitic according to Laurent.
Yeah, Laurent don't know. Laurent wouldn't know where his nose was if he didn't look in the mirror. Sargatanians, Sakas. Yeah, some Sarmatians, Scythians.
Scythians. A lot of people don't know Scythians are actually Iranian people. Yep.
The Sogdians and probably Cimmerians, among other Iranian-speaking peoples of Western Asia, Central Asia, Eastern Europe, and the Eastern Steppe. Modern Iranian. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, modern Iranian peoples will include Kurds. We talked about the Kurds quite often in the past, not too long ago.
Hey, didn't somebody said they was related to the Sardinians?
Oh yeah.
Where Kevin George?
Yep, that's a good point. Yep. And here's haplogroup J2-M172 dealing with the Iranians. You can read that if you want. You shoot.
Hold on, I was getting that bot out the dang chat, man. This is getting annoying. Where am I at? Where am I reading? Right here?
The haplogroup J dealing with Iranians.
Yeah, it says J2M172 is the most common haplogroup in Iran. Almost exclusively represented by J2AM410, subclade 93%. The other major subclade being J2BM12. Apart from Iranians, J2 is common in Arabs, Mediterraneans, and Balkan peoples. The Croats, Serbs, Greeks, Bosniaks, Albanians, Italians, Macedonians, Bulgarians, Turks, and the Caucasus, Armenians, Georgians, Chechens. You know, these are all Abraham people right here. Chechens, English, northeastern Turkey, northwestern Iran, the Kurds, the Persians.
All the groups we've talked about extensively.
Caucus.
While its frequency drops suddenly beyond Afghanistan, Pakistan, and northern India. In Europe, J2A is more common in southern Greece, Javan, southern Italy, while it's J2B, J2M1 and 2 is more common in Thessaly, Macedonia, and central northern Italy. Thus, J2A and its subgroups within it have a wide distribution from Italy to India, while J2B is mostly confined to the Balkans and Italy.
We need a bomb for that.
I can't be at two places at one time, brother. Hey, but yeah, I mean, this really goes with what was being stated earlier about these early J2 markers that brought subsistence survival, but basically early farming into Europe as well. So it was definitely present.
But apparently, all these people are Semitic. You know, Georgians are Semitic. Chechens and English are Semitic.
We're not going to say Sardinia anymore. We're going to do what Kedrick said. That's the Kevin G branch. They spoke a Kevin G dialect. Someone said too cold for us.
Too cold for it. Yeah.
Is that the Hurrian dialect? The Hurrian dialect?
The Kevin G dialect?
A new video came out
from
LanguageCon dealing with the Hurrian language. If you want to go to that YouTube on YouTube, if you want, it's up to you. But it's kind of interesting how it came out literally when I was giving my presentation about the Hurrians. If you want to show the audience what the Hurrian language would sound like, so that they can really know that these are not Semitic people. Let's hear how these ancient Canaanites would sound. Uh-oh.
What's your question?
In the words of Brother Zadok, what is God learning tonight?
Hey, you know, after he said that, you know, he kicked them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had booted him to the backstage.
Yeah, he kicked him out and brought him right back. And he was like, you know what, I can't. This is why I don't have to deal with Israelites. This is why and he kicked him out and he brought him back in and started laughing.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Ivry, what's the channel called again?
Just type in Hurrian language and it should pop up instead of typing in the channel.
Is it I Love Languages?
Yep, that's it. That's it.
All right.
3-minute video. You don't have to play the full 3 minutes. Just the early part with some of the languages and then the sample text. I really like that channel. Really brings to life these cultures, you know.
The Hurrian language. Numbers. Suko, Simni, Kige, Tumni, Narya.
Oh, that's what Abraham sounded like.
Cindy.
Yep.
Tamri, Eman.
Vocabulary.
Athlim, Asti, Ashe, Almi, Ese.
Doesn't even sound Semitic.
Endan, Eni, Fira Dardi.
Somebody said Achilles was an Israelite.
Khabagi, Khattoge, Khavurni, Isana, Idurse, Kader.
You can go to the sample text now for a full sample.
Matriani, Mahiri, Mari, Musu, Nera, Naige, Natri, Niranit, Oya, Paba.
Wait, hold on. Did it say father yet? I see mother. I'm trying to find the one for father. Go back a little bit. I want to see if it said it.
Hey, what we gonna do about y'all guys? Because this is too much. Y'all too much. This is what we gonna do about y'all. We gotta do something about y'all. I'm gonna put y'all in the back. I'll kick y'all out right now.
No, I don't see father yet.
All right. Well, I know for a fact that none of these words are Semitic because mother is not. That's not the name for mother in Hebrew. Wherever that term is.
It's Abba. It's Abba and Hurrian.
Saphali, Pantani, Sapli, Sauri, Tare, Tali,
Somebody said it sound like Hindi.
Sample text.
There's the sample.
Tis atal, endan nurkes purli, nargalbastum, purliat diallan, tedabagas sakruin. Siratilimub, uruk ummiwe, talawu siabri, talmastili, situri ni kriyasenebi, allani, mansurama katilinisas,
Oh yeah, I was gonna go to that, B-Red.
Ayatiwetan mati, matupat yan eh. Inutanin, Henni,
That, ladies and gentlemen,
Mustatia,
is the
Inumanin,
Hurrian
that
language.
Henni,
That sound
Seniway,
like they don't know
Sastataf,
whether they want to speak
Anam
Arabic
Tilan,
or
Supas,
Hindi
Sausas,
or
Amanutilan,
something else.
Simiganitilan,
Chinese,
I
Mandarin.
haven't I,
Iyasarilan,
I haven't heard
Masitilan,
Abba yet.
Ingremes,
I haven't heard
Ennasus,
Abba. This
Sisan,
is father.
Tisan, Tatasipen, Tirasen, Asatilan, Sawalasa, Tisunen, Tisan,
Sound like
Tisuspais,
tongues.
Lausas naman, Ye, Wakrunen, Istaniwa, Agussawa, Eti Tatanastian, ni Rusaitisan, Gilyasan, Pasit
By the way,
Hilas,
this sample text is from the
Tigulisan,
Matani letter.
Ananahili, Sanausan, Nimorias, Kur, Itsarewanes, Euristasia Pitanusa, Uru, Luneme, Uru, Simigene, Wene, Man,
I'm just
Unusa,
waiting for him
Simigene,
to say
Wan,
Ami
Unwa,
Amogatu.
at Taiwan Pusa, at Tatiwa naman, Suwalaman, Tasena, Tisan, Deluswa, Saramban, Sena, Kur, Ungi, Siusi at Inin, Tasen, Idusta, Senapan, Etiem Maman,
That's how
Tasenewa,
Abraham looked.
Urita, Sierkamusaman, Tisan.
But
All
yep,
right,
that is
there you have it.
the Hurrian language. Nothing Semitic about it.
Everything was Semitic about it. You hear that? Ahaya said you can clearly hear some Indo-European Indo-Aryan words, excuse me, in there.
Yeah, the Hurrians were, for some reason, well, I guess it's not that surprising, but they were around a lot of Iranians. The Mitanni Empire, of course, was ruled by Iranian peoples, or Aryan peoples, as sometimes they might call it.
I heard Arabic, I heard Mandarin, I heard Hindi, and that's it.
I heard Chechenian and English and Hittite. Actually, I'll take Hittite off. I actually kind of like that language, but I heard Chechenian and English.
Mm-mm.
They also have sample text for the Chechen language and the English language.
Man, look what it Yahoo, bro. You cartooning, bro.
So I can talk to Kevin.
Talk to him in his native tongue.
No, you gotta learn Guccian. What's how you pronounce it? Your shoe, Guccian.
Oh, Gucci. Oh, Oh, together. Gucci and Harry together.
Yeah.
Bulgarian.
D Red said something like Gurian or something. I can't remember what he said.
D Red, drop in the chat. Sorry. D Red, drop in the chat what you called that name again.
A mix of Gucci and Harry, and I think it was Gurian or something like that.
Who's GED? Who is that?
G-Con ain't never got his GED. JCTS15.
He said mine's is.
So that's your DNA, that's your haplogroup.
That's interesting.
Well, I'm gonna show everybody this one more time. I ain't gonna say one more time. I'm probably have to show you guys this again. What you want to do is you want to go to Genetic Homeland, right?
Yeah, that's a good source. Yeah.
So when you go to Genetic Homeland, and genetichomeland.com. Let me share my screen, and you guys can follow me. And this is how you use this, because people ask about their haplogroup, which you can actually see for yourself. So when you go to Genetic Homeland, you're going to see this string. Go to the top column, to the right, DNA pedigree, click that. All right. So scroll all the way down to the bottom. And what you can do is you can type in whatever clade you have. So I think his was what? CTS15.
Yes. There really isn't much information on it. I'm looking right now online. And it's really just a sub-branch of J, but there isn't much information on it. It's just a random, I use that word random, but it is just sort of a random sub-branch.
So you haplogroup J.
It's not really defined.
Okay, I'm about to say you broke the website, brother. Yeah, you from a Clay to J.
Yeah, that's about it.
JZ1828.
Is part of the J1A. So you can say J1A.
You're Shemitic. You come from IJ, and we were told that IJ is Shem. You know, so I could just went here. Look, IJ, IJK, HIJK.
Don't confuse the brother. Don't confuse him.
HIJK descends from F. F descends from CF. You get the picture. But anyone can use this website, and if you have a question about where your haplogroup comes from, where does it descend from, go to this website here.
You are part of the J1A though. That's what you'll be part of. So let me. You can share my screen, Shub, if you want.
Hey, GED. I see you watching this channel for a while. So you know what I wonder? What is your?
Can you see?
Yeah.
So you're part of the J1A. J1A is right here. And basically its origin would be in the Anatolian European region because it descends from J1, obviously. So this is where you would be since you're a J1A. But your specific subclade is your specific subclade is not really that well defined. There aren't a lot of with the TS15. There's not a lot of people I could just specifically find with that one. What was you gonna say to him? He's in your room a lot, or you're in your
I see his name, here and there when I do a live. So brother GED, if you don't mind me asking, what would you consider your ethnic group? You know what I'm saying? Because the brother could be African American. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you could. Yep.
In the meantime, Ramal Yahoo says, is the Bantu people specifically only D or E?
Yeah, they're definitely D. No, I'm playing. Bantu people, for one, breaking down that term Bantu. Bantu is really technically it's a language group, and you do have other groups that aren't, I guess you can say, ethnically Bantu that speak it, because there are pygmy peoples that speak Bantu languages because Bantu conquered them. But now Bantu people, specifically those with E, they will be part of the E, specifically E-M2 or E1B1A1. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. But when it comes to the Bantu, keep in mind that is technically a linguistic group. And if you look at the language map of Africa, you see it all over Africa, but other groups speak Bantu who aren't ethnically Bantu.
You sure they're not haplogroup D, brother?
You might got a couple with some D.
Hey, servant, man. Chill out, man. We ain't calling nobody mutant in here, man. Ain't nobody a mutant. Everybody come. We all humans here. Y'all brothers be going too far, man.
TV, the ET.
Yeah, let's not
do you
stop
want to
being
join the room?
Let's not stop being disrespectful. I'm sorry, Abid. I didn't mean to cut you, bro. Let's not be disrespectful, all right, family? We're here to learn. We're here to learn. We may play around and joke a little bit, but let's not be disrespectful.
Hey, so what y'all think about this comment right here? Because it's 1,000 things going in my head right now. Maybe I'm not processing this correctly.
They never thought blacks could reach this level of scholarship. Buffering.
No, they knew. They knew.
Yes.
It's just it's still buffering though, because it's like, what's it called? Deja vu. You feel me? To a lot of people having dreams and visions and stuff.
Visions, yeah. Yeah,
I
blacks
read
have
this
always been
completely.
intelligent.
I read this completely wrong because I'll tell you guys later. The way I read this is kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah, don't say it now, cause you know they gonna say you got read it, comprehend you.
no, I'm just saying like how it was posed.
Uh,
Somebody, I don't know who this is.
Wild. This is crazy. What is that supposed to be? Join the panel, Facebook user.
Yeah, that must be a block person.
Could be a bot, yeah. Because sometimes bots leave weird comments. If a
Hey,
bot,
I be praised. You said Ngozi went at you for saying that DE was in Syria.
when was this? Because I never heard of that.
My brother Ngozi got a problem with us being in Eurasia, man. Anywhere outside of Africa. If you know,
we know in Ngozi's model, you know how he shapes his bottle. You know, he's Islam.
he said, I remember I said DE was found in Syria and I was nearly crucified by a certain person on the comment board whose name starts with an N. I know who he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
I mean, at some point you gotta, you gotta see the point where if we find the earliest DE somewhere outside Africa, you just gotta admit that, man. We don't find it in Africa, like no ancient sample. TV to ET says his pops knows that he comes from Abraham and we are Shemitic.
Yeah, you probably got an E marker. I mean, you say you're in Bangladesh. Yeshub just brought out sources. I think he was here about a lot of Pakistanis and Iranians having old E markers.
All right, this brother says he's CTS 1313. Yeah, well, you're EU 174, bro. You E1B1A.
Yeah, I'll just look up information on E1B1A instead of that specific sub branch. I mean, you can look up your specific sub branch, but it's probably easier to just look up E1B1A in general. Sometimes you do have to generalize things.
Hey, TV, don't do it. Like, come on, man. I'm going to bed, bro.
Yes, there was a slave.
I'm going to bed, bro. I'm going to bed, man. I'm not even dealing with this tonight, bro. TV. Every time
Yeah,
you see,
I ain't sleeping a couple nights.
I know you don't mean no harm by this, but I ain't gonna go too hard. But every time you see our DNA somewhere, it does not automatically equate with slavery, bro. It don't. I
Yes,
showed
you do,
you
Yeshua. We're Canaanites. We're always meant to be enslaved.
12,000 years ago. 12,000 years ago, though.
well, the Arabs did teleport, and they made a time machine because them golden plates they got off the side of the ark when
The
Abraham
golden
came
plates.
down.
You mean the emerald plates from the Sumerians?
Oh
Them
God.
too. But
Yeshua knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Did somebody bring up golden plates and emerald plate? What's going on here?
Yeah, Yeshua brought up gold plate. Wait, no. Sherry brought up gold plates. I brought up the emerald plates of the Sumerians.
The Mormons are in on this.
No, it's the Freemasons.
Oh yeah, Kevin G did say that. He said the Lemon Tribe don't
Golden
have
plate?
Remember that? It was like they primarily J. Like, no, they not.
Yeah, there was, and that's
They had
we're
a whole
talking
bunch of eat that
Booba.
shit too.
But the Booba was who they was correlating with the Booba tribe. They was correlating with the J marker for the Kohanim. Am I right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's like one small fragment of all of the limba. Like the limba are huge.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
a
well, he
tribe
tried
of
to
people.
discount, but he tried to discount the whole Lemba tribe because of that J marker for the Booba, the Kohanim marker.
Yeah, he did. He basically said that they're not Jews, that they're really descendants of like Arabs or something. I don't know what
Yeah,
his problem is.
yeah. Well, I know what his problem is. Anybody that's African or looks black, claim to be an Israelite, is lying. They're false, automatically. So that's why they try to disprove and
Yeah,
debunk the limba, because you don't see them going around and trying to debunk the Parthians. They don't go up there and try to mess with those Jews. Oh no, or the Mizrahi. Do they go around trying to debunk the Mizrahi? No, they look for the African ones or the black ones.
Some people even try to go as far as to debunk the Ethiopian Jews. The bot's back, by the way.
How
Yeah, I
in the
got rid of
world?
it. I got rid of it.
Man, when we brought out, it's funny how this bot pops up as soon as we bring out this information.
It ain't funny. That's how them
Coincidence?
alphabet soup people work.
The alphabet. We're
No,
talking about
right.
the
Real talk, because right now, like we don't see these bots on a lot of a lot of people's channels. We don't see them on
Mm,
Dante. We don't see them on Tell We don't see them on
mm,
CPE. But this
mm.
information right here for this channel, this small channel, is so powerful. This is bigger than we think. These are different people attacking this channel.
Yeah, there's definitely someone behind this bot. That's true. This stuff don't just pop up out of nowhere. Someone is intentionally putting it there. But
Man,
I
I'm
know
gonna have
who's
to tell
doing it.
y'all on Clubhouse.
Yeah, they
I know.
trying to shut the whole channel down. Like, like you got 20,000, 25,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? Like they going hard right now because this information we getting to the nitty gritty.
and that's why
they not.
I'm sorry, you keep going.
I know who's doing it.
No, you keep going, Sean.
Hey, hold on. I know who's doing it.
Hmm.
The ghost.
Looking good, Turner.
Timmy Turner. Very odd turn. I haven't heard that in so long.
Dinkelberg. The damn Dinkelberg, man.
He always at it.
No. But yeah, Sean, you're right. This information is new and different than other Hebrew channels, and probably why this one's being targeted the way it is. But I'm gonna send this information to as many channels as I can. I'm gonna send it to Divine Prospect. I'm gonna send it to. I wonder if I should say who I'm sending it to, because
then they gonna get there.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
probably
keep it
don't.
I'll keep it to myself.
Lord on
But
Hebrew,
y'all see when it comes out on these different channels. But I'm gonna keep the information to myself for now. The channels I'll be on. I'll talk to y'all about it in Clubhouse. Yeah, I'll do it in private on Clubhouse.
I don't know, man. Edward Snowden, he kind of said some stuff.
Well, yeah, we've always known the government is in our phones and computers and stuff.
I want to ask a question. Who stands to lose the most with this awakening?
Who stands to lose the most with this awakening? In the world, probably how should I put this? The descendants of the Hurrians.
Why do you say that?
Because if it turns out that the descendants of the Hurrians aren't actually the Israelites, then a whole bunch of bloodshed with the Palestinian conflict was for nothing.
Damn.
And, yeah. All of that was nothing. All of that was political. Wait, you think hello?
I can hear you.
I can hear
You
you.
think I'm going too deep or
Yeah, let's that's Clubhouse stuff.
okay. I'll talk about it on Clubhouse. But yeah, it's a whole it'll basically be bad news bears if all this is if the descendants of the Hurrians aren't the Israelites. Yeah, I'll talk about it there, though. I'll talk about it there after this show because I actually do want to talk to y'all about this, everything that's going on in a particular part of the world. Yeah.
You shoot.
Don't call out the Candyman, all right? Let's not call the Candyman.
Man,
So
sometimes
Candyman
my
already here, the bot.
yeah, my bad. But talking about something a little bit more on the upside before we end the show. Let's see. Trying to think of something. Good episode though today. You shoot really good. Brought out a lot of good information about these haplogroups, the ones that will be from Japheth, the ones that will be from Shem, and it's irrefutable. Definitely the FM89 lineages would be Japheth because they settled in all the regions that Josephus and plenty of other Muslim, Jewish, and Christian writers say where we find the descendants of Japheth, and it's the places where we find FM89 lineages. Whereas Shem, of course, we find in the Middle East, Mediterranean, and Africa. So at this point, it's irrefutable if we want to go back to the genesis of these peoples, the genesis of the Semites, and the genesis of the Hamites, and genesis of the Europeans. It's pretty much factual. Now the next, now the next thing to do is to find out who are the Israelites. That'll be the next thing, which is what I'm doing on a certain channel that I guess I can't even name now. But
don't even let Dinkelberg know.
Yeah, but I am preparing a presentation, and I'm going to bring this to your channel too, on who are the Israelites. Because again, all my presentations that I've done, and even that debate I did, is not about the Israelites. It's about the ancestors of the Semites. Because we got to go back to the beginning. But now, soon, I will be doing presentations on the Israelites, since everybody seems to want that information.
God, great lecture tonight again. Total Rabbah, to the family, Total Rabbah, to the chat. This is enjoyable. We're getting into the thick of things. People starting to pay attention. The Candyman is even paying attention.
The boogeyman, the Baba Daga, or the Baba Yaga. I mean,
So the guy, the brother that just made this comment, right, Marlo. All you have to do is type in Z600. Oh, he said 003. I put 005.
yeah, he shoot needs that sleep.
Who's that 003?
Yeah, that's 3. That's down to 5. That's a 3.
Dang. I put 5. So 6003. Let me try that. Z6003.
It kind of looks like a 5 from an angle. But,
From an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked. Look. There it is. So you descend from EM180, which comes from EM2, which is EV38 E1B1A. So yeah, it does work. You just got to put the actual mutation. Don't put the E. Put Z6003.
There's also another good app that y'all could use. You can share my screen if you want. You shoot. Let me pull up. Well, actually, hold on. Ooh. Man, I want to talk so much about certain things, but I can't because of.
Hey, he asked where DEM145 comes from. We are arguing that it comes from Asia.
All right. So here's another good source. It can always be updated and stuff like that, and we need more like this, more websites that are like this. But it's decent enough. But it basically shows how E is in the Northeast Africa region. We have the ancestor E-P1 or 7 close to Sinai and close to Egypt. And there's other websites like this that actually have it in the Middle East. But this is just one of the ones that I'm showing right now. And all you have to do is type in, well, actually, hold on. Let me type in descendants. So here's the descendants. And you find E a lot in the Levant and in the Middle East. And they have the time periods right here. Like the green means Iron Age. The light blue means Bronze Age and things of that nature. Yellow means Roman period. But you do find E samples in the Arabia and parts of the Middle East and the Iron Age and Roman Age and stuff like that. And like I said, this website will always keep updating because there's always people bringing in new samples. But it is a good example to show the widespreadness of E. And there's more to be had when it comes to it. So all you have to do is type in the haplogroup, like up here, if y'all can see it, it says E-M2. You can do the same thing with the female lineage. Let me actually take off the descendants. And so, for instance, my mother's lineage is L1B1A18, and you can just push go, and it shows you where the ancient sample is. So my mother's ancient L1B18 sample is found in the Mediterranean, in the Aegean Sea, as far back as I think the Bronze Age. This is either the Bronze Age or the Neolithic, one of these two blues. But you can also use it for the female lineage, as an example. My mom has Mediterranean ancestry, but yeah. So yeah, it's a good source.
Hold on. Type in IM70.
IM70. Fix that. All right, so there's wait, yeah, wait, hold on. Why does it say CF? I don't know why it's saying T. That's kind of weird. Unless it's an I. Yeah, does that look like a T to y'all?
No, that's I.
That is?
Yeah, T wouldn't be over there. Hold on. Blow that up again.
Let me push descendants real quick.
Oh, that is T. That is T.
Yeah.
That's a T. Why does it say T? Maybe
I don't know.
Did I give you the wrong mutation?
All right, I can't just type in IJ. I need the actual descendants.
Oh, I got you. Hold on.
Yeah, give me the dash. Everything after the dash.
Oh, I got you. I get you the mutation.
Are you trying to look up G-cons?
So IJK M170.
M170?
What did I tell you? Is that what I said?
I don't think so, but here it is right here.
Right,
oh, in the Balkans. In the Paleolithic. The purple means Paleolithic. So let me zoom in for y'all.
Full circle, what I tell you. First Europeans.
Poop. And so we can look up descendants as well.
First Europeans. I told you.
So here's the descendants, all heavily concentrated in Europe. Look at all that.
First Europeans, Japhites.
With only a few in Africa. Only like 1 or 2 in Africa. And that's during the Roman period, as you can see. Well, actually, no. That's the medieval period because it's orange. Yeah, only 2 samples we found in Africa. The rest is in Europe. You've got a little bit in the Middle East, but most of that is Europe. Look at that heavy concentration. But these are supposed to be Semites. Let's look up haplogroup E. Let's say E-P2. Wow, look at E-P2. It's both in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, like Shem's descendants. Let me show you. Let me zoom up at the front. E-P177, so y'all can all see. And as you can see, it's seen in Africa, heavily in the Middle East and Arabia, and even in Europe.
No. Black Hebrew Israelites made that app.
Let me zoom in some more.
Black Hebrew Israelites made that app so they could prove themselves right.
Look at all this. Remember what the green is. The green is the Iron Age. Look at all these E samples in the Iron Age. What is the blue? Blue is the Bronze Age. Look at all these Bronze Age E. And then you got the Roman Age. And you see it in Europe as well. I have a certain opinion on E being in Europe. There's a specific person who could have carried this in the scriptures. Not going to get into it today or tonight, but it is interesting that you see most of this in the green, meaning the Iron Age, and blue in the Bronze Age. But yeah, but apparently all of these people will be Hamites. So you got a lot of European Hamites and a lot of Middle Eastern Hamites apparently.
Let me give you another one. Give me GM201.
G-M201. Let's see. Let me take off the descendants so we can actually see what we're looking at. So here's G. They put it in like Iran on the outskirts of Mesopotamia, but now let's look at the descendants. Wow, a lot of the descendants are in Europe as well. And you actually went into this, of course. You see a lot of blue. What does the blue mean? Again, blue means Bronze Age and Neolithic and Mesolithic. I forgot. See a lot of blue. Very little other colors. You do see some green. Again, that's the Iron Age. But G is heavily concentrated in Europe, with some of it being in the Middle East. But as you can see, you see this orange in the Middle East. Orange is medieval. And you see this blue. Of course, this blue could mean Bronze Age. It may mean Bronze Age. And you see some G in Africa. North Africa, though, you see a red, which is the modern era. So, and for some reason, you even see it out here, but this could be because of migration or modern. But yeah, mostly in Europe. Is there any other haplogroups y'all are want to know? Maybe mitochondrial as well. I don't know.
Before you move on, I have a question. With the ones that you just pulled up, did you see a commonality between the age that the y'all was in, or approximately around the same spot?
Yeah, the Upper Paleolithic you're talking about.
I'm just asking because I'm not sure.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of these samples are in the Upper Paleolithic, the purple. Let me just do something real quick. Let me look up FM89. It might be too big. It might not be able to handle FM89. Let's see.
Yeah, it's so basal that it's probably going to be all over the place.
Yeah, it's.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is
never mind.
Region.
Here's FM89.
Oh, Lord.
Well, FM89 represents 90% of the Earth.
Yes, it does. So it kind of makes sense. You'll see it. Man, that is amazing.
I can't wait for that Tower of Babel study that Brother James gonna be doing.
Let me look up L3 haplogroup. Oh, that's the L3 Sherry, the one that you could descend from.
Oh yeah, that's me right there.
Here, L3 mitochondrial.
We keep. I know my L3F is actually just in East Africa, but wow, that's crazy.
And also keep in mind, L3 descendants are M and N. So that's why you do see a lot of it in Asia, because the M and N migrated into Asia.
Hey, Ramiro, I know you trying to throw salt because you mad because you're probably a European baby. Check this out, right? There's other channels that deal with, religious matters as far as holy days and stuff like that. Just go watch them. We're dealing with science. We're dealing with genetics right now. We're trying to elucidate ancestry. I know you got a problem because I seen you make a comment on my channel because I don't teach that Hispanics are Israelites anymore.
Oh, he used to follow you.
He's probably the one giving the bot. This is probably to do with the bot, man.
Oh, you think so?
Man, I'm finna block this guy, bro.
Yeah. We'll see what happens if we block him and it still pops up. Then it's weird how you can't. I thought when you block someone, they can't come back. So this must be multiple accounts, right?
It's gotta be.
Interesting. But what was I saying before this?
Do you
So
see a lot in the Middle
he
East?
used to be around you when you used to teach that Native Americans were Israelites, correct?
Yeah.
Oh. And then once you stopped teaching that, he was pretty much mad at you ever since.
Yeah, he came here. These dudes are liars. But if I was saying what you want me to say, you'll be in here kissing ass. Bama said, yeah, he the one. Had me blaming Dinkelberg this whole time.
Dinkelberg.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that was full circle right there with the showing the I distribution and the G distribution. And where they went, they would, definitely been the Proto-Europeans. And if they're the Proto-Europeans and it's a rap for them, they jaff.
Yep. And this right here is showing M2. This deals with timelines and stuff right here. But let me show you when it comes to S&Ps. So we do find a lot of E-M2, of course, in Western Africa, but also you see a lot in Saudi Arabia and also the United States, but a lot in Saudi Arabia. And here are other places. Then it's like Ethiopia and Italy, Palestine, Sudan, and this deals with the time periods and stuff. But this also goes into the science of it all, but I'm definitely not going to read that. But if you deal with the history, it can give you certain haplogroups, like it deals with the Yamnaya. You just push that button, and it'll send you straight to the haplogroup. And deal with Egypt and around.
Hey, look up the Caucasus.
Here's the pre-pottery Neolithic. It has E-V22. If you push that, it'll show you its distribution.
Dang, the sons of Canaan went far.
They went all the way to the British Isles.
Oh.
So this is a really good source. Like I said, it could be better because of all the external information that I've read on E. There definitely could be a little bit more, but it's good for now for what it is. There's other types of maps that deal with this. You can push this right here, and it can show you the migration. So if you push that, it shows you it coming out of Africa. And just let it play out a little.
Hey, did you want to answer this question here?
Yeah, I can answer it. If that's the case, who's D if DE is Afroasiatic? So what do you mean, like, who is D? Do you mean who is D from a biblical standpoint? Can you clarify just a little bit? And then I'll answer it. Are you talking about from a biblical understanding? Or from a linguistic understanding? Because you said Afroasiatic, and that's language.
Can you answer this one?
Let me go back. When is the earliest time when is the earliest time E1B1A is found in West Africa? I actually have no idea when the earliest E1B1A was found in West Africa. We haven't found any ancient E1B1As in West Africa, surprisingly. The only old E1B1A that that can give you in Africa itself is Ramses and his son. But I actually don't know what's the oldest E1B1A in West Africa. You might know. I don't.
But the oldest E1B1A in West Africa, they haven't found it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
They haven't found any E1B1A samples in sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, so
yeah, this is a great source for y'all if y'all ever want to study. Here's I'm sorry.
Curtis Lee says, what's the Ubaid period? What's the
the Ubaid is the Mesopotamia. The Ubaid period. Oops, it moved to an article. The Ubaid period is the prehistoric period of Mesopotamia. It derives from Tel al Ubaid, where the earliest, largest excavation of Ubaid period material was conducted initially by Henry Hall and later by Leonard Woolley in southern Mesopotamia. The period is the earliest known period of the Evel plain, although it is likely earlier periods exist obscured under the Evelium. In the south, it has a very long duration between about 6,500 and 3,800 BC, when it is replaced by the Uruk period. In northern Mesopotamia, the period runs only between about 5,300 and 4,300 BC. And then there's more. You have to go to the wiki article, but apparently there are E samples there as well, so we can push that. And yeah, it does show E in Mesopotamia, right here. EV13. I meant EV22.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
That's purple. That's purple. So that's Upper Paleolithic, right? That's what purple means, right?
Paleolithic, and the dark blue is Mesolithic, and that's basically what we find. And light blue is Bronze Age. So you basically find Paleolithic, Bronze Age, and Mesolithic samples.
So in Shem designation, like this will be Shem's territory.
Yes.
All righty then.
Let me look up haplogroup A. Let's see what we can find with that.
Somebody said look up EV12.
EV12. All right, give me a quick second here. It's running a little choppy at the moment.
Here's a good one.
Oh
I want to answer this. I want to answer this one. Is that EV12?
No. This is A. All the descendants of A.
Oh, that's because they're going with the secular model that everybody will be a descendant of A.
Right. So what was it? It was EV12?
Yeah.
EV12. Let's first go with actually we'll just stick with the descendants. There's EV12. Again, high concentration in the Levant. And you find samples, of course, in the Mesolithic Arabia, as well as the Iron Age Arabia and Neolithic and Bronze Age Arabia.
Wait, why would they be there? They're not supposed to be in Shemitic lands.
I don't know, man. Maybe this was made by Black Hebrew Israelites. I don't know.
That's crazy where they put EM96 and then look what DE is going. Like, come on, man, that's crazy. Look, they got DE going all in Arabia.
Yeah, got an arrow.
Curtis Lee says, I got a stupid question. Do you think Abraham and his brother is DE? I know the timeline is off, but I'm just wondering. You want to answer that, Avery? You want me to answer it? Because
no, he would not be DE.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's just that simple. I don't think it'd be DE.
Nope.
What about this one? If Ramesses and his son.
Wait, what was that? Did I hear something?
Yeah, that's Sister New BME. She's been on the channel before. What's going on, sister?
I just want to big you up for all the scholarship. I just want to let you know that I was so happy when you gave it to them at Bereans, So just want to give thanks for all your studies, your scholarships, iron sharpen iron. So brothers and sisters, we do appreciate it. We appreciate it so much. So thank you so much for busting out the truth. So I just want to come on and praise the Most High, our Father, and praise y'all for making these studies available so that we all can do our investigation and then, know who we are. Give thanks. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you, sister.
Yeah, all praises to the Most High.
All praises to the Most High. Yeah.
All praises. Yep.
Hey, Avery, what you think about this right here on the screen, right? If Ramesses' son are E1B1A, does that make E1B1A Cushitic?
Oh wow, that's kind of weird. I mean, a better debate would be Egyptian than Cushitic. But no, it doesn't. So, all right, let's break this down, I guess. So if Ramses and his son are B1A, does that make B1A Cushitic? All right, so the reason that I would have to say no is because there's really no information that even alludes to haplogroup B1A being Cushitic, nor is there even information alluding to Ramses being Cushitic. I would like to know this though. Why did you word your question that way? Because it seems like you have a presupposition that E1B1A is Cushitic. So that I would like to know.
All right, LEE, if you can, get some clarity. Did another one come in? Someone asked for this website, so if you can.
This is called S&P Tracker. There's also another one I can give y'all too. Another type of app. Here, let me just type in another. Well, actually, I'll just wait and let y'all write that on a notepad. S&P Tracker. It's really good. I should have used it in my presentation probably, but I really didn't see a opportunity that was right to use it. But it's a good one. There's others. I'm going to show y'all another one in a minute. I'm going to leave it up here for a few more seconds. All right, I'm changing it. I'm going to give you another good one called Heat Map that deals with DNA. So this is why Heat Map, and it can show you. I've actually showed this as screenshots in my presentation, but it can show you the highest concentrations of where certain haplogroups are. For instance, let's look at Yitzhak's haplogroup. If y'all don't know who Yitzhak is, he is a Yemeni Jew. He has haplogroup E-M123, as he likes to say, or 123. So let's look that one up as an example, So E-M123. Let's submit. Where is E-M123? Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let me just use the button. Because that's not what I wanted to do. So where is E-M123 heavily concentrated? Pretty much heavily concentrated in Arabia, obviously, Yemen, Oman, Kuwait, Israel, Ethiopia, North Africa of, I think this is Algeria. It's also in the place that Yusuf talked about today. And I think this is either Pakistan or, I think this is Pakistan or Afghanistan or Turkmenistan. I'm not for sure. I think this might be Turkmenistan, but he talked about finding E samples there, and we do find E-M123 right here. This may even be the Pashtun Jews. I don't know, but you do find E there. You find it all throughout the northern part of the Near East, the Balkans, heavy concentration in places that we find Eastern European Jews as well in Eastern Europe. So yeah, let's say you want to just look up, let's just say E in general, E-P2. Let's see what that looks like.
Hey, excuse me real quick. This is why I just want the audience to know this is why we try not to phenotype, because as you see, you're gonna see a lot of the E with Yitzhak. You find it in concentrated areas where you might look to find Jews with a different haplotype that has E that may not look straight Negroid. So we have to be very careful.
That is true. That is true. Let me just give you all an example of that. By the way, this is just, hold on. This is just E in general, E-P177, like you find, of course. And by the way, this is why I say looking at specific populations is better than looking at language maps, because according to this study, E is really seen in like E1B1A is like really seen in one part of South Africa, a few parts in Eastern Africa, a few parts throughout Western Africa. Like it doesn't light up the entire map. Like it's only select parts of the African continent that has E. The whole continent doesn't have it. It's only certain populations. And you see it, of course, in Arabia. You see it throughout the Mediterranean, which a lot of people associate with lighter skinned peoples, but yet E is supposed to be Hamitic. And then you see it in parts of Asia. So let's look at EV13 because we were just talking about phenotype. And Sean is correct. You cannot use phenotype to determine people because we see, for instance, the sub-branch of EV13 heavily concentrated either in the Mediterranean or in even in the Middle East, like here in the Persian Gulf, or in the Caucasus itself, or in the Levant, or basically where its heaviest concentration in the Greek islands and the Italian peninsula. This is EV13, and obviously these people in this region of the world did not look anything like us. They're tanned, skinned, curly-haired, dark-eyed Mediterranean people who we will call olive-skinned. but yeah, these people are just the tan-skinned version of Southern Europe of Europeans, and they got the E marker. So phenotype is definitely a very bad argument.
God, so if you have an E marker, you are related to these people.
Yep. You're related to Greeks. You're related to these Mediterraneans.
So can I claim white privilege now?
Yes. You know, this is why I say when it comes to haplogroup E, it really is the foundation of civilization. Like, it is seen in all the major civilizations of the world. Greece, Rome, Egypt, Mesopotamia, Amazigh. Like, this is the haplogroup of civilization. It's a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, African haplogroup.
Can you type in JM304?
Uh-oh.
Georgia.
J-M304. Let's see what we got here. What? It didn't show anything.
Oh well, remember we read that source that said they're everywhere but nowhere at the same time.
JM304. Let me try again. Weird. What the heck? All right, so it's not working using that. Give me a different one.
That's the major clade J1M267.
J-M. Which one? 267.
Yeah.
267. Oh man, didn't give me that one either. Let me just try J1. Let me try J1.
That's the 80. That's
You're
the
not
80
looking out for J. J is not being found.
I pushed J1 instead.
Okay.
Just in general.
All right. Hey, go to the other one where you can find the ancestral. The other app.
Ancestral. So the SNP.
Yeah. SNP tracker.
Yeah. While if Rita's trying to find that
J-M
304. Do the 304. The whole clade, the basal. Yeah.
Here it is.
All right. Hit the.
A lot in Europe. Wow.
I wanted to pinpoint that Caucasus area.
No, it's not going to pinpoint a specific area, but it'll definitely show you.
I had this queued up.
Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
TV to ET says, so why do they say Ramses is E1B1B?
I have never heard someone other than Coptic people or Europeans try to say Ramsey's E1B1A, E1B1B, and this is on internet forums, not on established genetic websites. Established peer-reviewed genetic websites say E1B1A. Even if you were to type in Ramsey III on Wikipedia, let me do it right now. Ramsey III on Wikipedia, they're going to say he was E1B1A, and they're going to give you the link to the source as well. You just go right here, DNA and possible relationship with his son. I'm not going to say that because I don't know what it is, but it says right here that under this title that he is E1B1A. It says the Y chromosome haplogroup E1B1A and 50% of their genetic material, which points to a father-son relationship. Here's the study that deals with it, revising the harem conspiracy and the death of Ramses III, anthropology, forensics, radiological, and genetic study. And, you know, he is, zoom in more, he is E1B1A. And also, if you push the E1B1A tab, they also have one for famous people. It says Pharaoh Ramses III in DNA. Push that, brings you to the thing, Pharaoh Ramses III in DNA, E1B1A. So he is not E1B1B. Pretty much established fact that he is E1B1A. Here is a paper that deals with it. Here's the.
I was about to say, they're gonna say a BHI doctored that
paper
on Wikipedia.
Yeah. So just in case people think that Wikipedia thing is lying, here is the paper, the actual genetic paper, with all the scientists. If you want to try to debunk me, it's not me saying that. It's all these scientists. So you email and talk to them, and you'll be doing a lot of emailing. But here is the paper and everything. It deals with Ramses III having E1B1A.
What year is that? Because they got one for 2020 that says the same thing.
Yeah, this is 2012, and you are correct. There is one from 2020 that says it as well. Let me see if I can pull that one up.
Yeah, it gives you all the pharaohs and all of the ancient people. Yeah.
It's actually on my Twitter. I posted it.
Because someone say that's out of date. They updated it. It was actually E1B1B. They never found E1B1A out. But here's the thing. They found E1B1A in Asia. Come on, man. They found it in Asia, in the Oshu civilization, Turkmenistan. They found it in Iran. They found it in Corsica. They found it in, what's the other one? France.
Yep. Hold on, I'm pulling it up right now. The 2021. I know what you're talking about because I follow a lot of Arabic people on Twitter, and a lot of Arabs have E markers. Or let me go to the.
Well, LEE, he would be Egyptian because, again, like you're American. Well, I don't know if you live in America. I'm American because I live in America. I'm a part of the American society. I'm a natural born citizen here. So he would have been Egyptian because of that, or whatever that term was back then to denote him.
Kemetic.
Yeah.
Or
he would.
Kemet.
Well, I don't know what they would have called him. I'm drawing blanks on that.
Here.
What the people would have been called. But
So
we classed.
Let me scroll down to it.
Hey, Ivory, I found your work. You know your work all over the internet because I found you on some kind of channel. I forgot what it was.
I think I know what you're talking about. People be stealing my stuff. I get tired of that. I'll be like, dang it, I need a copyright this or something. Here it is right here. So this is like the Arabic websites that I follow, Twitter pages that I follow. Let me.
Yeah, that's it. Gad et al. That's him. 2020 E1B1A. What is that? The probability 99.1%.
Yeah, this is testing his STR, tandem repeats, and it is definitely 91% E1B1A according to his STRs. And STRs is definitely basically just who you are.
The DNA don't lie.
Oof.
Kevin lied. G-Con lied.
Here's more of it.
DNA don't lie.
Let me push it. Here is Ramses III and his sons STRs. They're literally the same, and they're E1B1A.
No, they're not. It's not in sub-Saharan Africa, so it can't be.
Yep, this Arab man is lying. He's actually a black Hebrew Israelite. Here's another one that deals with it. But yeah, Ramses and the Screaming Man, which is his son. A very creepy image of a man looks like he's dying a very terrible death.
Yeah.
Probably because he did die one. It's assumed he killed his father. So, but yeah, that's his STR. And I have a lot of this on my my Twitter. This is my personal Twitter, but I do have a Hebrew of Israel Twitter, but this is my personal one. I basically follow a lot of these Arabic people because they talk about DNA. Like right here, they talk about E samples being found. I'll just push it. This is new samples we find in Arabia, Saudi Arabia, a lot of E. This is in Yemen and the Emirates, Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Syria. A lot of these Arabs do confess of E being in the Middle East. And so, you know, I follow these guys.
So wait a minute.
You
sure
can
it's
read
not
Arabic?
the children? You sure it's not the children of Nimrod?
I don't know, brother. They might be. Here is this is one the Arabs on here. They're kind of funny the way they be talking. They say, "Woe to you from God, who threw the E dynasty into Africa. May God, I will not forgive you before God." This is the E-B16, the brother of the E-M35, with a percentage of 88%. Where do we go from God? This is his homeland, Yemen, the Arabian Peninsula, and the Levant. And this is the posting of it.
I want those Arabs. I want those guys on the show.
You mean to tell me they're mad that we got that we ended up in Africa?
Yeah, some of them are shocked by these.
My goodness.
Yeah, and some of them are like, yeah, it's impossible. And but others are like, we've been here for thousands of years. Other Arabs are like, we've been here for a long time with these E markers. This is I'm just gonna skim through this because
You
this
know
is
what that
actually my
reminds me
DNA.
of? The Ashkenazi Jew. That we I think he was there, Avery. I was like, "What's your DNA?" He said, "I am EM30. I am EM35." I was like, "Oh yeah, you kinfolk, you brothers." No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then I guess he did some research. He said, I'm just shocked."
Because he was
shocking.
phenotyping. He was phenotyping.
Yep, that's it.
The skin doctrine.
Here's a good source right here. It says this says Abel, but this is Ebla. Ebla sample E2 ETM010, which is the carrier of the strain E-M82, and he put crowns because this is an Arab website that talks about haplogroup. It says it turns out to be the oldest specimen in the Syrian Ebla, estimated to be between 2,700 through 2,500 BC. At this time, Ebla was under the control of the Iraqi Kish civilization, and they were the first speakers of Eastern Semitic languages, including the Akkadians and the rulers of Iraq. And he has the sample posted right here.
Wait a minute. So E haplogroup was a part of the Akkadians. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, this is early Bronze Age 3 period, 2,700 through 2,500 BCE.
Didn't
they were
G-Con
Semitic peoples, though.
G-Con said that was an empire and it had nothing to do with the people?
It's not Semitic peoples, though. That's not what it said.
Foolish young men.
Yep. And then it says right here, the Kish civilization is a time period corresponding to the early Eastern Semitic era in Mesopotamia and the Levant. Then it says right here that Ebla was part of the Kish civilization, which was a cultural entity of Semitic-speaking populations that stretched from the center of Mesopotamia and Western Levant. And then he just shows an image of a Akkadian or Assyrian with E-M123. You gotta follow these Arabs and Middle Easterners on Twitter that talk about E, because they go deep into E. This one here shows E-M2 among Berbers, as you can see.
No, E1B1A is not supposed to be in a Berber pop. That's North Africa. You lying?
Here's another one.
Hey, that's why I love
DNA. And Egyptians and Berbers.
I love DNA because I love studying DNA because all of these things that these tropes that people teach and reverberate, it really has no weight. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the DNA, you can see these people in our group, all over. Not being constrained to just one area.
Yep. This is my DNA right here. Using GEDmatch, 20% Western Semitic DNA. And a lot of African Americans have a decent amounts of Western Semitic DNA as well. This is dealing with GEDmatch as well. I have like 18% North African. But skimming through this, trying to see if there's anything else I want to show. I'll show you all my DNA in full on another presentation at another time.
Oh, go back to that Ramesses. Go back to that Ramesses because I recognize that 23andMe. Go back.
Yeah. This is both my 20. This is my 23andMe and my TrueAncestry.com.
Hold on, hold on. Let me blow that thing up, man. You playing games. Right here. Ramesses III's paternal lineage belongs to haplogroup EV38, from which your line also stems. You and Ramesses III share an ancestral paternal line ancestor who probably lived in North Africa or Western Asia.
I subscribe to Western Asia.
Yep.
In my Berean voice, hey, I got to get you guys out of here. These guys are running amok with these slides.
This is a good Berean voice, by the way. Here's I guess I'll just go ahead and show y'all this. Here's my E-P252 paternal lineage. So I'll let you Shub read this because he's going to like it.
The first steps of your paternal line ancestors lead from Eastern Africa north towards the Red Sea in haplogroup DE and 145. Most descendants of DE lineage belong to one of the two branches, D and E. Men carrying D move east into Asia, and those with E move west through Africa and into Europe. Your path branched off again over 60,000 years ago with the rise of haplogroup EM96, also simply called haplogroup E. The common ancestor of EM96 may have lived in northeastern Africa or in the Arabian Peninsula. Since then, the Arabian Peninsula. Since then, his descendants have carried it throughout the African continent into neighboring regions of Europe and the Middle East.
Yep.
That must be the black Hebrew Israelites must have hacked into the 23andMe, and they wrote that in there.
I'm convinced when they say Jews run the world, they're talking about us.
Yeah,
apparently we run
actually.
We run everything.
This is dealing with my African ancestry. I guess I'll show it. I don't have to show it. I'll show y'all that on another date.
I'm gonna give you 7 more minutes to rock, man, and then we gonna close out.
Yeah, I'd like to get some sleep tonight. There's too much information. It's blowing my head. I gotta get rid of you guys. You guys gotta get out of here. You know what? Let me put these Israelites out of this room. These guys is running amok.
Here's your Spartan EV13.
Well, let's give them something to drink.
Oh, that makes sense, Avery.
Yep. You know what I'm thinking.
That makes a lot of sense.
We are the builders of civilization.
Listen, people, audience, do not phenotype. Stop phenotyping.
I think I seen Kevin and LaRon fall off that cliff.
Oh man.
It says among the famous Greeks of the E-V78 dynasty, the most likely mutation is EV13, who stopped the progress of the Persians, Iranians in Greece for a period of time in a famous battle called Battle of Thermopylae. The Battle of Thermopylae and the Persians won over Greece became because of the unequal strength. This is another. That's just another website that deals with it. There's tweets under there. Well, actually, I shared that video. And this is just Egyptian stuff that I look into. Skip through there. A lot of good information though on Egypt.
Hey man, just thinking, and someone said in the comments that made me think about how you're miseducated in the church and how you miseducated in a lot of these Israelite camps. To reiterate, Egypt does not equal Ham. I think we got to stamp that in people's brain because
no, you should. Egyptians supposed to look like this. Y'all are all Afrocentrics.
Man, look, we gotta, yeah, it's supposed to look. Hey, man, listen, man, it's a lot of arguments out there, but what I don't want my audience to do is to relegate Egypt to Ham. Don't look at it like that, because when we were on Berean channel, someone said, I know he's not going to tell me that Ham's not Egypt's not Ham. Well, Egypt is a hodgepodge of people do different epochs of times. People went in and out of Egypt, so you can't just stick one son of Noah on that entire history of populations in Egypt.
Yep. Here's another funny one. It says, we are pleased to present the first copy of the genetic tree of the donkey tribes. Branching from the genetic mutation E-M 884, the donkey tribe.
Sound like some straight haters to me.
Yeah. And it says it has genetic clusters from most of the famous Himmerite tribes by lineage. I'm not going to say all these. All over the famous Himrites. And if y'all are familiar with the Himrites are a branch of ancient Sabaeans. And they descend from Joktan, according to their tradition. I'll show you that in a minute. But let me just show you this this tree that they have that the Arabs made. And so everything stemming from E-M 84, and these are Arabic names and stuff like the different Himrite tribes. I don't know Arabic very well, but these are the different tribes. So just to quickly give you all some information on the Himrites, because they're saying that E-M 84 belongs to the Himrites. I was actually going to save this information for my Joktan video in the future, but I'll go ahead and lay out some interesting stuff. So let's look up Himrite. Oh, let me do that.
Hey, Avery.
Yes.
You ate dinner already?
Actually, well, earlier today I did go to Burger King, so I did eat half a burger. So I am good for now.
All right.
But
we're gonna have to save this for tomorrow. Like,
yeah, this is the last thing I'll show y'all. But yeah, here are the Himrites. They're saying that E belongs to. We did see a high concentration. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something, Sean? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, he might have cut out.
Oh, okay. This is the last thing I'm going to show y'all, and then I'm going to head out. But like that study just showed about E belonging to Himrites, here is the Himmerite kingdom, and we see heavy concentration in Yemen. And of course, I showed you all that DNA earlier today about those high concentrations of E in the Middle East. And the Himmerite kingdom, what's interesting about their tradition is that they claim ancestral descent. Oh yeah, here are the tribes that I mentioned, that they mentioned as well, having E. Let me actually pull up Joktan. Wait, Quoktan actually.
And Joktan will be a son of Shem.
Here are the Quoktanites. And it says right here, Quoktan people are divided into the two subgroups of Hamir and Kalan. It says, let's see, trying to find the good information on Hamir. Actually, I should have just stayed in the Hamir article, but let's just push Joktan. So when it comes to Hamir, to Quoktan, it says right here that he is also, well, it says Joktan was the second of the two sons of Eber. Book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 25. Man, I need some sleep as well. But it says that the sons of Joktan are all these peoples, and all these peoples are connected to Arabians, by the way. It says he is also identified with Quoktan, the ancestral figure of Quoktanites in traditional Arab genealogy. And this is information because as I just showed you, with Joktan being Quoktan and Quoktanites having with Himerites descending from Quoktan, this really shows you that when it comes to this E marker, it does belong to Semitic people, because we saw that E-84, according to Arabs themselves, are Himerites who anciently descend from Joktan, the son of Eber. There's different Arabs talking about this that the guy posted. This one says, "May God bless you and direct your steps for everything that is beneficial." Like some of them are glad to have this E marker. It says, "May God reward you with a great work, and the coming is more beautiful, God willing." So they know, and they're happy with it. Let's see, this says this guy, and the king and the kings of the donkeys. I can't read this. This is funny. Oh,
it's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh, man, gotta love Arabs, bro. Oh man, but I'll stop right there.
That goes to that source you brought out on Berean's channel about there's a difference of being linguistically Arab and genetically Arab. So the ones with the J markers, they're only linguistically Arab. They only speak the Arabic tongue, but those the Joktanites that you just showed would actually be genetically Arabs.
Here's a new one. I just retweeted this. I didn't read this, but it talks about how the E-84 project, Natufians, the Arabs having this genetic link. Many Arab tribes are genetically linked to the E-123, and this came out in 2021. And they have a new branch that they've made. That's really cool. I'll bring this out, by the way, soon on your channel, YouTube. All this stuff dealing with the Arabs, but this is their tree that they've made. They have a new one. That's pretty cool.
You know,
yes, many Middle Easterners have E. Don't let people fool you into thinking they only have J. Here they have Middle Easterners aren't the only people. We aren't the only people looking at E being Semitic. Arabs also are looking at E as being Semitic, as you can see with their own trees that they've made. Got to learn Arabic so I can actually read this. But
you know what that looks like? Yeah.
And this is what these people look like, by the way.
There's a brother,
as a phenotype.
There's an Israelite brother that lives in Israel that reads Arab, so you might want to forward that to him.
Oh yeah.
He's what's that brother's name? I'm trying to think of the brother's name. I'll find it. I'll find him. He's on social media. Like he reads Arab. He goes back and he reads all of the Idrisi, the writers of Idrisi and the other Arabic historians that wrote down about the presence of Jews in sub-Saharan Africa. So I know he's proficient at reading Arab. So you might want to forward that to him.
Oh yeah, I definitely will, because I have a lot of, like I said, I follow all these Arabic people on Twitter dealing with DNA, and it would be nice to have a translator to know who these tribes are and stuff like that. That would be definitely. Send me through text his information and tell him ahead of time that I'm going to text him. So
I gotta find the brother again, but he's definitely I think he's in Dimona,
Israel. Oh, so he's probably going to be relocated soon.
Yep.
Someone wants to know about haplogroup Q. I'm going to quickly give them some information on that before we end the show, because I know y'all are ready to take a nap. Well, not nap, but go to sleep. So haplogroup Q is heavily concentrated.
Hey, Yashub, you see that 12.5-year-old talk?
A nap, yeah. Energizer Bunny, man.
All right, so
I'm about to have dinner.
Yeah, me too. I probably should eat when I'm done.
Dinner?
And then do the dishes. And so basically, to quickly answer your question, haplogroup Q belongs to Central Asian and Native American and Eskimo peoples. That's the quickest way to do it, to say it. And I guess I can quickly just read a quick article. Q-M242 is the predominant Y-DNA haplogroup among Native Americans and several peoples of Central Asia, Northern Siberia. It is also prominent in the. It is also the prominent Y-DNA of the Akha tribe in northern Thailand and the Dayak people in Indonesia. That's new to me, by the way. I did not know Southeast Asians had Q like that. But yeah, it's basically seen mostly among Central Asian, Siberian, and Native American peoples. That's the quick answer, because y'all are ready to go to sleep.
Man,
hopefully
those people are related to J. Because they all go back to F. So all these people will be Japhet, all of them. So.
Yep. All right, that's enough right there. And Q, of course, would descend from P1, and Q is actually related to R, which is seen in most Europeans. So Native Americans are actually the brothers of Europeans with the R marker. It's very interesting.
Right. So when Columbus came over, Hernan Cortez and all those guys were destroying Native Indians. They were killing their brothers.
Yes, basically. Yep.
Giving smallpox to their brothers. Ain't that about something?
Mm-hmm. And they thought they were so different because of how they looked. It goes back to phenotype. Because of how they looked, they thought they were so different from Native Americans when genetically they're brothers. They're related.
Yeah.
They're actually more related to Native Americans than they are to haplogroup people. They're more related to Native Americans than they are to people with haplogroup I, who looks more like them.
That is true. That is true. All right, y'all. We gonna shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
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 Big business.
RSK, let it play, boy.
When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, nothing miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, nothing miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. I wake up and say me a prayer. Brush my teeth, babe, then I throw on some threads. Wash my face, grab a cup, pour me some yum. Put on my backpack, then I'm off to the bread. I eat these devils for breakfast, gotta be careful. Whole lot of blood being shed in the streets. World is so wicked, I weep for the living. I drop a free trip for the dead. All my white friends in my pocket, or either they loading onto this black card that I swipe. Say every time that I drop it, the verses be hitting more harder than problems of life. Rich, I collected 2 pennies from every person that willingly gave me advice. Being afraid can't exist in my spirit. I'm fearing no man but the Father in Christ. I put in work with the brothers. We stood on them corners from 10 to like 9 the same night, teaching our people the gospel, equipped with a camera, some posters, some speakers, and mic. Every time that I see mama, she telling me, son, you gotta walk in the light. Christ, the bread of heaven, keep feeding my spirit, and I wanna load, not a slide. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, nothing miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, nothing miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers.
When I tell you I'm an Israelite, tribe of Judah, don't you take it personal. Plead the blood on these demons, we purging them. Don't entertain Jezebels, we be curving them. Ayy, I got a ribbon, she virtuous. In person, this blue life ain't virtual. I can't forget when I heard the truth. I got cut with that word, it got surgical. Conviction can lead to repentance. I pray these verses encourage you. We repenting, now we on the vertical. Judah rising, see Isaiah 32. Big business, nothing minuscule. I picked up that pen back in middle school. Guard your light and take heed who you listen to. Watch your mouth and your ears and your vision too. Hashatan and Shalkani won't finish you. In Mortal Kombat, this war is not physical. Gird your loins up and follow the general. Messiah is coming, that's scriptural. You gotta starve your flesh. The real war ain't even started yet. This look like a setup for a second exodus. I'm trying to be where the water at. Let's get it.
When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, nothing miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers. When I tell them I'm an Israelite, it's big business, nothing miniature. Serving same thing as minister. Kill the flesh, how to finish them. These commandments, they'll sustain you. I'm surrounded by these angels. I ain't worried, I'm protected from seen and unseen dangers.